Back at the Kurtz, getting set for the bottom of the first inning as the Colonials come up for the first time today. Cam Hill will lead off and play in center field. Batting second is Cal Gentry at second base, the hero of last night's contest. Wesley Womack will play in right field and bat third. Hitting cleanup, the catcher, Austin Holloway. Batting fifth at third base, Garrett Green. Batting sixth at shortstop is Cassius Young. The seventh hitter is the designated hitter, Will Hudgens. Batting eighth and playing in left field is Shane Conahan. And batting ninth and playing at first base is Jason Cook for the Bobcats / Colonials. They'll be going up against Sam Sauerbauer.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, and fun to say, too. Sam Sauerbauer, the lefty on the mound to get things going for Greg Appleton and the Cougars.
Sauerbauer making his, it is fun to say, that was good, especially if you do it quick. 14 appearances now and 10 starts for him, a 4-1 record, 3.36 the ERA, 59 innings pitched, 58 hits, 27 runs, 22 of them earned, 28 walks, 66 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .257. Got some tough pitching in his Columbus State staff, particularly the starters are some of the best in the league.
Lefty against lefty to start things, and it's on the outside corner to Cam Hill, hitting .361 on the season. Last night, Hill went 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI plus a walk. He was in the 5-hole yesterday, and he looks at strike 2. Cam, the 7th leading hitter in the Peach Belt Conference as he stands at the plate now. Bobcats have
another
5.
guy in the top 10 there.
Yeah, we've got 5 in the top 10 now.
Jeez.
Not bad, as the Bobcats, unfortunately, and the team batting average is lower than it's been the last couple of years. It's .313. That's nothing to sneeze at, but when we were hitting .325 plus for the last couple of years, we didn't have this amount of individual guys in the top 10.
Yeah, taking a look at comparison points here, .313 the average for the Bobcats, .272 for Columbus State. Pitching, though, a 4.18 team ERA for the Cougars, 4.41 for GC. And fielding, as this one skied to left.
Back and then in a step and making the grab is Bullock in left field for out number 1.
So to finish that thought, fielding percentage for GC is .958 and Columbus State .974. So they've got us beat in fielding and in team ERA.
So here's Cal Gentry, who delivered the game winner last night against a drawn-in infield. I was talking to his dad, Andy, before the ball game, and he said that Cal's thought process was when they brought the infield in, he was just going to chop it in the ground, trying to get over somebody's head. That's exactly what he did, and won the game for the Bobcats last night, the Colonials today. As the pitch is outside, 1-0 to Cal.
Do you ever think that Cal, like you could just put a couple of buckets out there on the field and he could drop them in there?
Yeah.
It just seems like he knows such good bat control, knows what he wants to do with every pitch.
He'll chop it to the right side. Going to be a tough play. Nice scoop and a flip to first, and Gentry almost beat it. Great play by Barry as he had to come stumbling in and make the grab. An underhand flip over to Brown at first base. Gentry, by the way, still leads the conference. He improved by 3 percentage points from last night to today, standing at .432 prior to that at bat.
Yeah, he's putting together freshman year type of numbers, and, of course, that was his All-American season here at GC. He's probably the best just pure hitter that I've seen in my time here at Georgia College.
Wesley Womack in the third hole takes a strike. Womack, the number 3 hitter in the Peach Belt Conference. He's at .389 for his senior season. 51 hits, including 6 homers to lead the Bobcat Colonials. Bobcat Colonials? Balonials. And he's got 31 runs batted in. Come on, guy. You're really messing with an old man here. I had to go from Georgia College to GCSU to Georgia College and State University to Georgia College to Bobcats to Colonials, and there's a shot to the right side. It'll skip over the glove and into right field for a base hit. As Barry got some leather on it, but banged into right field as Womack continues his torrid hitting.
Yeah, Wes with the big home run yesterday. Didn't get the chance to see it because I was over at the softball doubleheader with North Georgia. But,
could you hear it?
From what I understand, they like one hop the Peeler building out there.
Yeah.
It was just a rocket.
That one went into orbit just a little bit. So Wesley Womack at first base with 2 down, and that'll bring Austin Holloway to the plate for the Colonials. Holloway, the second leading hitter in the Peach Belt at cool 410. He was cooled off, though, yesterday. Womack's going, pitches outside, slips out of the hand of the catcher, and Brooks sees it squirt all the way down the left field line. And it'll be a stolen base for Wesley Womack as he's perched in scoring position with 2 down.
Brooks trying to make that quick transition from glove to throwing hand to get that throw down to second. Just didn't secure the grip on it.
Austin Holloway at 1 for 5 in last night's contest as that pitch goes outside, and it's 2-0 on the Bobcat Colonial catcher.
Womack now 5 of 5 in stolen base attempts this season. The team as a whole now up to 55 on the year. To compare, exact same number for Columbus State, so real even in the stolen base attempts.
They've got one guy who's real good, as Ford is the leader in stolen bases in the Peach Belt with 20 thefts on the year. That's outside, and it's 3-0 as Holloway. Let's see if he's going to get the hit privilege here with a 3-0 pitch.
Yeah, Bobcat leader is Jason Cook. He's got 10.
That tells you.
Yep, a little bit, little different ball game there.
3-0 pitch from Sauerbrower is the automatic, and it's 3-1.
Be interesting to see as we get to the end of the Peach Belt Conference portion of our season. We lost some ball games. That series at Young Harris, we were supposed to play 3, only got 1.
Right.
How is that going to affect the way the standings work? It's a percentage to figure out where you finish in the standings. It's not total wins or anything like that. But I'm curious how that's going to come into play as we jockey for position in the bottom half of the standings.
Holloway had to look back to the home plate umpire, Don Stanford, to make sure it was ball 4, and he's on at first base with 2 down. With Womack perched.
Sure.
Yeah, that's right. Usually catchers are pretty good about keeping track of the count, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes at the plate you forget. So here's Garrett Green, the John Kurtz Award winner for the 2019 baseball team.
And you look at that list. I was putting together, some stuff for that banquet. And my goodness, there are some good names on there.
Ford gets the ground ball, flips to his second baseman, Berry, for the force out. Bobcats put a couple on, but can't push him around as the fielder's choice ends the inning as Holloway retired 6-4. We're scoreless at the end of 1. The Colonials and the Cougars go to the second inning.
You got it that time, folks.
But I still got to call it the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
Yeah, we're not the CNN. We got to figure that out.
Back in a minute.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Inning number 2 rolls around at the Kurtz. Scoreless between the Colonials and the Cougars. Georgia College celebrating the 50th anniversary of baseball and athletics this year, so hence the change back to the old days. We got into the Wayback Machine.
Somebody read my tweet, I think.
Uh-huh.
Goodness, how much time do you spend on Twitter?
0.
Yeah, exactly.
My daughter told me about it.
Okay.
So, am I Sherman or am I Mr. Peabody?
I would say that you're probably Mr. Peabody.
Thank you.
You got more of a Mr. Peabody sort of look
Plus,
to you.
he's grayer.
Yeah.
Than Sherman, and you're younger than I am.
Yeah, I don't know if I qualify for a Sherman exactly, but yes.
Chase Brown
That's good.
quickly.
Glad you got that reference.
There you go.
Nice.
Hey. I'm an old man. I think of these old things. Old cartoons. Chase Brown quickly down 0-2 as Kamak struck out the side to start things. Brown went 1 for 3 with an RBI yesterday. Takes it high and away. And Chase will be at the plate with a batting average of 284. Make it 204, excuse me. The old eye is not cooperating today. 16 runs batted in, 3 round trippers. 1-2 pitch, bang to the right side. He'll get on with the first knock of the day for Columbus State. Just drilled it between Cook and Gentry on that right side.
Yeah, had a little bit of a shift on for the big lefty, and Cook was hugging the line in shallow right field there. And he just had enough to get it past him with some speed. If he was in his normal first base position, he might have been able to get to that one. It would have been pretty close.
Dane Bullock steps up. Bullock had a 2 for 3 day, the one of only 3 Cougars with multi-hits in the game. First pitch is high and tight to the right-hand hitter. Bullock in left field once again for Coach Greg Appleton. And on his season, Bullock at 268, 10 home runs, 29 runs batted in. 1-0 pitch is drilled to left. That'll get down. Back-to-back singles to start things in the top of the second inning for the Cougars. After striking out the side, Kamak has been touched up for a couple of knocks.
Yeah, rocketed that low inside pitch to left, and you got to start the swing a little bit earlier when you have that inside pitch so you can get the bat head out there. He timed it just perfect to drop it in front of Conahan. Back-to-back hits, and they're in business.
We'll see Will Wilbanks for the first time in the series, 227 batting average. Yet to drive in a run on the season. This will be his 7th start and 19th game appearance. Time requested and granted for Wilbanks.
These are some of my favorite names I've run across yet. We got Will Wilbanks and Sauerbrower. That's some good stuff. Just fun to say.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It'd be like me being Al Allenson or something like that, you know.
Curveball breaks in for a strike. Looking down at Patrick Simmons, the third base coach for the Cougars, long time. That was one of the big things that we were talking about with Scott Miller yesterday. Patrick Collins, not Simmons. Patrick Simmons was from the Doobie Brothers. I just really went way back there.
Nice.
Patrick Collins at third
funky
base.
Dixieland.
There you
Pretty
go.
mama going to take me by the hand.
Fouled out of play. Whoop, it didn't get out of play. It slams up against the backstop. But Collins has been there 17 years with Greg Appleton, and Sammy Stiers, who coaches at first base, has been with him for 15 years. So a lot of continuity there.
Yeah, a bit of a Division II baseball dynasty of sorts here for Columbus State. Just plenty of success under Appleton's tutelage there. I think runner-up status, I believe.
Last year, yep.
That was the second time, I think, all time. But just plenty of postseason appearances for him.
Yeah, they got the crown in 2002, went all the way to the championship game and won that in Montgomery. And last year in Cary, North Carolina, they fell in the championship game.
But it seems like, you know, if you're going to do anything in the Southeast, you're going to have to get through these guys.
Sure.
And, more often than not.
Well, they won the Southeast region last year in a series that was played in North Greenville. It wasn't even on their home field, and they were still able to take down everybody and advance to the World Series last year.
I don't believe they were nationally ranked either
I don't
at the
think
time
so.
when they came into that region tournament.
They were third in the Peach Belt Conference in the regular season last year, and they just got hot at the right time.
Well, that great pitching that they had, particularly, the starting pitching again, and it carries over to this year.
Right. Colton Ingram was out of his mind last year as a pitcher for them. And he suffered through some tendonitis in the elbow, according to Scott. That's why he has not pitched. He got shut down for about 3 weeks, came back last Sunday, and did a very good job against Young Harris, but they pulled him on a pitch count, and the very next batter hits a 2-run homer, and they lose. So,
wonder if we might see Ingram tomorrow then, taking on, looks like Brad Spinner is going to be the starter for GC on that 1 p.m. start tomorrow.
By the way, this is Kendall Ford at the plate, 273 batting average. The shortstop, 2 for 5 last night, and the leader in the Peach Belt Conference in steals with 20. Got to keep him off the base paths. 1 out, 2 on for Columbus State. Ford will spraddle the right-hand batter's box and step back in. Kamak has struck out all 4 outs so far. And that one's flailed out of play to the right side. So Kamak has not allowed his defenders behind him to help out in terms of getting it out just yet. But
yeah, the 2 balls that were made contact both found the turf for hits.
Bradley with the set, the peak to second, and the pitch is lifted in the air to right side, but it's going to get out of play, I believe. It does. Womack gave chase, but gave up as it wound up between the 2 diamonds here at the Peeler Complex. Beautiful day. We were going to hit around 80 today for a high. No wind at all compared to yesterday, and it's a high sky, too. So the sun monster it probably won't come into effect because it's an early start today.
Yeah, along with the 50th anniversary team stuff, we also have a sorority in attendance back here behind us in the pavilion with a daddy-daughter type of day. Delta Zeta. Okay, gotcha. Delta Zeta back there.
That will add to our attendance. We appreciate that. Just got a piece of it to stay alive, did Kendall Ford.
Of course, the Greek organization, such a powerful engine for Georgia College's student body. Many of the members of Georgia College's student population, a part of the Greek life here at GC, very strong.
A 2-2 pitch. Instead, we'll go to second. Sneaking behind the runner there was Cash Young to take the toss. Chase Brown beat the throw back to the bag.
Yep, not a bad idea there, as it looked like Brown was getting a little bit too comfortable over at second.
Yeah, shorten that lead up a little bit, so maybe he will have to hold up on a base hit. Kamak will try to take care of Kendall Ford with the 2-2 pitch coming. Fouled away. Ford spoils another effort, and will try one more time.
Bobcats has a team, or Colonials has a team with 9 pickoffs on the season. Kamak does have 1 of them. Holloway leads the catcher with 5 on the season.
Ford levels the bat across the plate, windmills it now, and readies a 2-2 pitch once more. Comebacker through the box. It'll get through to center field. They're going to hold the runner up as it was hit into short center field. Young may have just gotten a piece of the baseball to slow it down some, but the Cougars have loaded the bases here in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, I think Young did. It looked like it slowed down as it hit that outfield grass, and had the third base coach recognize that, I think that run from third probably would have scored pretty easily if he would have gotten the knowledge that was slowed down a bit. But instead, you don't want to make the second out. You don't want to make the second out at the plate, so you get this opportunity here. There's so many different ways you can score from third. Sacrifice bunt, and, wild pitch, pass ball, just about anything here.
Drake Kirkwood at the plate went 1 for 3 as a late substitute, and an RBI. Skies went out of play behind their dugout on the first base side. 0-1 on Drake Kirkwood. Drake at .235 for his year with a home run and 2 runs driven in. So only had 1 RBI. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong line. It's Garrett who had the RBI last night. Those brothers, you get them confused. You know?
Yes.
Sort of like Colonials and Bobcats today. The 0-1 offering. Fastball missed low. Bobcat Colonial umpires arguing about that one. 1-1 now. A shift on here. The Bobcats bunch it up a little bit in the middle. And Garrett Green almost all by himself on that left side against the right-handed hitting Kirkwood. Fastball, got it on the outside corner at the knees. Kamak dropped it over there for the Calgary, Alberta native, whose brother Garrett waits on deck. No place to put Drake Kirkwood with the sacks full of Cougars. Kamak from the wind, and the next offering is tapped up the middle. Over to second. There's one, and they will not get the double play, and will throw it away. One run in, coming to the plate and scoring on the errant throw is another Cougar, and it's 2-0. So Georgia College got an out at second.
Yep, so that first run will be picking up an RBI on that on the fielder's choice. But the second one will be no RBI and unearned at this point, as it was on the throwing error by Gentry.
So Gentry with the first error of the day, allowing the run to score. Drake Kirkwood at second, Kendall Ford at third with 2 runs in and 2 down. First pitch low and inside to Garrett Kirkwood. Garrett, second leading hitter on the Cougars team with .318 batting average. He had a 1-for-3 day last night with an RBI and a walk. Kamak with the pitch, missed the inside corner, and it's 2-0. And Coach Eller is out of the dugout. Going to gather in the infield. Nobody is in the bullpen for the Bobcats, and now Eller will come in and talk to the home plate umpire, Don Stafford. And the base umpire, Andrew Tumlin, will join in on the conversation.
Yeah, but this is Ford standing on third right now.
Ford at third, Drake Kirkwood at second. Brown and Bullock scored. You are correct. Yeah, that was the force out. Ford should be out. They're going to send Ford back to the dugout.
That was pretty slick. They almost got an extra
Yeah,
base runner out.
how about that? Great effort. Hey,
call you out.
that's
You
why
might
Appleton's been around for 22 years as the coach of the Cougars, and he's approaching 800 wins. He's 1 win away from 800 as the head coach at Columbus State. And how did everybody miss that?
That was great. We even had, 2 pitches with the guy standing on third base? Is that right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, talk about selling it. You just.
So 6-4 for Kendall Ford.
No, I wasn't out. I wasn't out.
Out, yeah.
Outstanding.
Oh, wow. I wondered why there were so many people on the base paths after they had the bases loaded, and they scored 2. Yeah.
Yep. He was. Ford was forced out at second base before that throwing error on the throw to first, and he just stayed right in the ball game. Ran over to third on what he thought was that error. He thought he was still in the game. He thought he wasn't forced out at second, so he was standing on third base waiting 2 more pitches. What the heck would have happened if one of those would have been put in play?
Yeah.
That's wild. Never seen that before.
Well, Coach Eller spotted it, and so did the other Bobcat
After 2
coaches.
pitches.
But after 2 hey, that's quicker than we did.
That's a good point.
Popped up left field, going to fall for a base hit, and it's going to score a run. Rounding second and throwing on the brakes there as it got knocked around in the bullpen and tied up into the fence. So that will be a double for Garrett Kirkwood, and he'll get the run batted in. And it's 3-0 Columbus State on top. So that little flare down the left field line, 3 Bobcats gave chase. Nobody could come up with the fly ball. So Garrett Kirkwood winds up at second, scoring his brother Drake from second base. And this has been a wild top of the second inning. So Columbus State with a 3-0 lead, and back to the top of the order for Grant Berry, who struck out looking against Kamak. And he'll chop it to the right side. Cook will take it himself, unassisted at first base. The damage done, 3 runs on 4 hits in the inning. one error, and a runner left in scoring position. Bottom of the second rolls around. Bobcats got some work to do, trailing 3-0 on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can.
Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Well, still discussing that strange play in the top half of the second inning here. As Ford just stayed at third base, and finally, after 2 pitches, understand that Brooks Luther down in the dugout finally told Coach Eller that Ford shouldn't be there, and the umpires agreed. Holy smoke! You know,
that's good stuff.
Every day you see something different, right?
I'm curious what would have happened if one of those 2 pitches would have been put into play and, that run comes into score or something. That's wild.
Yeah, there's no appeal to that point, I don't think,
That's
after
crazy.
the ball's put
Good
in
stuff.
play.
Glad we caught it.
Cash Young leads off the bottom of the second inning of the Cats trailing. The Cougars and Colonials going at it today. It's a 3-0 deficit. Cash Young at .244 as he makes his 33rd start of the year. 29 hits on the season, including 10 doubles, and that leads the team. He's actually tied with Garrett Green for the team lead in 2 baggers.
I do like what Young's been doing lately. Really had a good couple of weeks here, getting the batting average up there a little bit. I think it bottomed out about 210 or something like that, so he's been a nice little surge here as of late.
High and away for ball 4, so a leadoff walk for Cash Young, and Coach Eller was saying that he wanted to get his best defensive team out there, and he thinks that Young is the best defensive shortstop right now.
Well, and I think, too, that that's his natural position, the position he played in high school, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe the comfortability in the field, hey, I'm used to this playing shortstop, is kind of bleeding over now into the trips to the plate, and he can focus a little bit more on the hitting realm of things.
Young
if you're playing an odd position like first base or third base,
yeah.
something you haven't done before, maybe you're focused mentally a little bit more on that. I don't know.
1 for 2 for Young last night with an RBI. Will Hudgens stands in. He had a big at bat last night in the 9th inning as he looks at one inside. Did not start the game as the DH for the Bobcats. Matthew Chester did that. Hudgens went 0 for 1, and the second time at the plate, he had led off the 9th inning with a walk. Was substituted for at first base by Casey Brown, and then the fun began for the Bobcats. 1-0 pitch. Instead, it'll go to first as Sauerbauer chases Cash Young back to the first base sack. Cash is 2 for 3 in stolen bases on the season, but with a 3-run deficit, probably going to hold fast there at first.
Yeah, kind of got this 2-headed monster at DH for Georgia College, trying to figure out, which one's going to be the better option. Another flip throw to first, as Hudgens will give you the big fly. He's going to give you the power slug. But he's going to give you a lot of strikeouts too. I mean, it's a big swing and a miss for him. And then Chester is a bit more of the contact type. He's not going to get you the doubles and home runs. He's going to get you more singles, but he's going to at least put the ball in play. So which is the guy that gets the start.
And out at second base on a caught stealing is Cash Young. A perfect pitch just away from the plate, allowing Brooks to square up and fire it down to first. So Young is cut down, attempting to steal second. And Will Hudgens Has a 1-1 count on him now.
Young now 2 steals in 4 tries on the season.
Pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Is that 2-6 on the caught stealing or 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
2-6. Not exactly sure why the shortstop was covering. Typically when you have the right-hand batter, it's
right.
the second baseman to come over.
Hudgens at 208 for his senior season, and he looks at another strike. GC trailing. I can still call him GC, right?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, thank you. I might just do that today.
The 8th runner caught stealing on the season for Robert Brooks back there behind the plate.
Just off the end of the bat toward the Columbus dugout. So Will Hudgens stays alive. Shane Conahan would be next for the Bobcats.
Got to meet Shane Conahan's dad yesterday. He's in town for Senior Day festivities tomorrow.
Very nice.
From Pennsylvania.
That's a long trip.
Oof.
Checks his swing and might have gotten hit by the pitch. No swing, says the base umpire. Will is arguing that the ball hit him on the foot anyway. And now we'll have a confab between the two officials. They'll talk it over. Hudgens still standing in the batter circle in the right-hand batter's box. And now they're calling him out?
No, they stayed there. Yeah, just calling it a ball, I guess.
Called it a ball because he stayed in.
No,
did not move?
It was. I believe they're saying he did not get hit by the pitch.
Okay. But the ball changed trajectory. It came in on him and then it bounced to the right side without hitting anything else. And Coach Eller is again conferring with the
Yeah, I don't know if Coach Eller's
umpire.
using fancy words like projection or not, but he may be pleading the same case.
And to no avail, as usual.
You don't see too many of those get changed.
No.
It'll
Hey,
happen.
we had one. We had that
Yep.
change the last inning. That's the first time this century, so
It'll
be the
happen.
last
It'll
time.
happen every once in a while,
There
but
you go.
you know that may be the day that you want to play the lotto. I guess I don't know.
It's 2-2, I believe, on Will Hudgens.
It might be 3-2.
It
if
might
that,
be
if
3
that
and
was
2.
a ball. I think
Yeah.
that was a 2-2 pitch.
Hey, things are wacky at the Kurtz today. Outside, ball 4. Thank you very much. As Sauerbauer couldn't find the strike zone on a payoff pitch. So here is Shane Conahan from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Beaver Springs, Pennsylvania, I'm sorry. There are Beaver Falls and there are Beaver Springs.
Yep, I was checking with Dad last night. They were about an hour south of where I was living at Lock Haven before coming down here.
Gotcha.
So a little bit closer to the Maryland border there.
Lefty against lefty for Conahan and Sauerbauer, who deals to first. Last night, Shane went 0 for 2. And he stands at the plate with a .264 batting average as he makes his 21st start of the season. His final year and only year with the Bobcats, and a curveball got the outside corner. Shane, no homers, 15 runs batted in, does have a pair of doubles and a triple to his credit this season. Sauerbauer with a double set move and now pitches. Hacks on the pitch.
Big cut there for Conahan. That was not quite where Sauerbauer wanted that pitch to be. I think the catcher was lined up outside and it actually came in on Conahan. But the result they wanted, a strike.
Sauerbauer takes his time and deals. Ground ball to second base, and they'll get the out at second and throw on to first as GC bangs into another double play against Columbus State. That'll be 4-3 for the Twin Killing. Georgia College bounces into its 40th double play of the year. So the Bobcats get a runner on a couple of times, but can't do anything. And at the end of 2, it's a 3-0 Columbus State lead over the Colonials today on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Bradley Kamak on the hill for the third inning. He'll face Webb, Brooks, and Brown, second, third, and fourth hitters in the Columbus State lineup, as the Cougars picked up 3 runs last at bat. Try to add to it here against Kamak and the Colonials.
Starting to
Webb,
warm up to it.
I'm getting there. Fouls it out of play, 0-1. He struck out on a foul tip in the first inning. 4 strikeouts for Kamak. Struck out the side in the opening inning. Got an extra bingo code, I understand, for that, right?
Yes, that's in the miscellaneous category. Most
love,
of them are attached to hitters.
Love the miscellaneous. And there's a strike on the outside edge.
Yeah, I ran out of codes. You know, like things to happen.
Right.
So I had some leftover numbers.
Good.
So we did that, and I think sacrifice fly is another one. Maybe 2 home runs in one game, I think, is another one as well. So
hopefully we'll get that today.
Yeah, I haven't done too many of those.
Waved at and missed. Strikeout number 5 as Webb got really fooled on that hook. So Kamak roughed up in the second inning, but starts off the third with a K, and Andy Gentry busy with the K patrol down below. They didn't have it last night.
No?
I guess because of the wind.
Probably. Yeah,
it was really whipping. So Mrs. Gentry had the day off. Now it's Andy's turn today.
Yeah, he was ready with that K. He popped out of the chair real quick.
Catcher Robert Brooks also struck out swinging in the first inning. It looks at a high curve, 1-0. Brooks likes to hold that right sleeve up there, and he got hit by the pitch.
Are you sure?
Maybe. He didn't move. Well, maybe he did.
Yeah, he did.
So, yeah.
Right, yeah. Robert's got your tickets to the gun show today, folks. That right sleeve tucked up a little bit. I like it.
He did that yesterday as well.
Yep, get a little extra sun on the bicep there.
So Brooks hit by the pitch. That will be the 4th time. I'm sorry, the 11th time. Man, he's been hit by 11 pitches.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's got that guard on that lead elbow, I imagine.
And for Kamak, his 5th hit batter, as this one skied out of play left off the bat of Chase Brown.
Does that 11 lead the team there? Yes, it does.
Yeah, far and away.
Yeah, next closest with 8 there, Bullock.
Curto is our highest plunking pitcher with 6. Brooks with that wide open stance singled and scored a run in the second inning as he led off the frame with a base hit to right field. That one slipped out of the hands of Bradley.
Yeah, Brooks took inside pitch and kind of chopped it through the right side. Cook in a similar position now as he was on that shift because he's got to hold on this runner, so there's a decent-sized gap to work with over there.
Brooks would try to exploit it. The 2-seamer broke away. 2-1 now the count on the first baseman for the Columbus State Cougars. They are 12-12 now in the Peach Belt Conference.
Got some celebrities in attendance here. Bobcat soccer well represented. Got Unbjorg Omer's daughter down there. I know that's one of your favorite names on the team.
I practiced that.
Yep, Ashley Graham, all-conference goalkeeper, as well as Sophia Lekis. I believe Lekis has plans of maybe being a graduate assistant coach at Mercer next year.
Interesting.
She's going to join former assistant coach Matt Seib over there.
That's right. Matt moved over to the Bears program.
And Ashley, along with the on-field accolades, I think she was 2-time all-conference. She's also an academic All-American.
Line drive, right field, got past Cook into the right field corner.
Same spot, Scott.
Yeah.
You know?
Womack digs it out. It's a double for Chase Brown. He's had a good day at the plate with a 2-for-2 effort, and he chases Brooks all the way to third with just 1 down. So Kamak's got to pitch out of trouble once again. A drilling shot to right field. Cook came off the bag but couldn't get there quickly enough to flag it down.
Yep, that was a rocket through the right side there, and Womack even had trouble getting to it in right field as it seemed to pick up speed as it went out.
Dane Bullock stands in. He had a single and a run scored in the second inning. Bobcats now straight up in the infield, a little bit up at the corner on the right side, and first pitch is inside for ball 1.
Bradley up over 50 pitches already in this outing. He's been busy, particularly over the last 2 frames, but all those strikeouts as well. You know, that's going to be at least 3 pitches for a bat. And, you know, so the number's getting up there on Kamak.
And Kane Keith, the pitching coordinator of the Colonials, will make his way out of the dugout. And some Bobcats Colonials will be heading down to the bullpen as well.
Yeah, Kane normally comes out with the sickle there. You know, he's not normally the guy for the conversational visits.
But obviously this is conversation because the Bobcat Colonials didn't get anybody up and throwing yet.
Yeah, a couple arms headed down there now. Looks like Harrison Veldsma going to get warm, as well as Luke Scuttleary perhaps. Luke did?
Yeah, Scuttleary came in and struck out a guy, a lefty, a situational matchup for him.
And we got some news on Veldsma. I think he picked up an extra year of eligibility for injury through the NCAA, so we might have him coming back next season after all. He's going to go through Senior Day festivities tomorrow because his family in town and all that kind of stuff, but we're not sure if Harrison may be joining us for another campaign next year in 2020. Can you believe that? 2020. We're old, right? Jeez. When I was growing up, 2020 was like we'd have flying cars and things like that,
yeah.
You know? Jeez. Trouble spot here. Brad's going to find some strikes quickly.
Curveball broke down.
Strikeout will go a long way. We got to find a way to get it out without that runner coming in from third.
Well, tell me about Veldsma. What happened with him injury-wise?
Well, his injuries came before he started for us. He was a transfer from, I want to say, Georgia Perimeter. Is that right? Yeah, Georgia Perimeter. So he got the injury up there. Actually sat out his first full year with Georgia College. Just as foul to the right side. Might be playable, Cook. Nope, going to hit the top of the dugout instead. But so he sat out his first full year here at GC. And I think it was shoulder or elbow related, if I remember correctly. So, but was able to play last season for us, and I think they found an extra, applied for and got an extra year of eligibility.
Well, that's good news for Harrison and his family. Bullock at the plate, 2-1 pitch, missed away, 3-1. Only one out, runners at second and third for the Cougars as they threaten to add to their 3-0 lead here in the third inning. Kamak goes 3-1, took something off the pitch, and a big cut and a miss by Bullock. So that'll fill things up on the left fielder for the Cougars. Bullock adding to his .268 batting average with that single in his first trip to the plate today. 3-2 pitch. Hit in the air to short right field, trouble, but Gentry back on it. He'll make the catch. Here's the tag at third. Gentry's throw to the plate will be in time. Austin Holloway shows the ball to the home plate umpire, and Brooks is cut down 4-2 at the plate. So Gentry comes up big again for Georgia College, this time in the field. No runs, one hit, one man left. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Colonials still trail 3-0 on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Bottom of the third rolls around. Jason Cook gets his first at bat of the day. Then we'll go back to the top of the order for Cam Hill and Cal Gentry for the Colonials on this sunny Saturday afternoon in Milledgeville. Georgia College honoring the 50th anniversary of GC baseball today, hence the return to the Colonial nickname, as the 13 players played 16 baseball games in 1969. And Cook skies one to right. To his right a little bit is Webb. Then he has to come in as it got held up a little bit by a slight breeze. Jason Cook on the first pitch skies out to right field. So he'll take a hit on his batting average. Came in at 250 prior to that at bat. Back to the top for Cam Hill. A fly to left for the Bobcat Colonial freshman. Again, kind of set the world on fire this season with 5 Peach Belt Conference Freshman of the Week honors, and he threatened to bunt. That one bounced up there. 1-0 on Cam. 4 straight weeks. Did not make it this past week. That was a shock, but he didn't really have a great weekend against Augusta.
Yeah, it was nice of him to let some other guys in there, pick up some honors.
Well, that's the sportsmanship that he shows. Yep. It was nice to see him down on the field shaking hands with all the 50th anniversary guys. Ford will throw to first. A great play by the shortstop. He has been impressive in the field in this series, and Hill is retired on a bang-bang play at first.
Yeah, good athletic move there from Ford. It was a slow chopper to the left side, and he kind of took a rounded angle at it to set himself up for a great throw toward first base. He got all of his momentum headed in that direction, and that really helped out as Hill, a speedy runner from the left side, he knew he was working with short time.
Got to get all that stuff in the right direction at the right time.
I was going to leave. I tried to do it without the stuff, but you got to go ahead and bring the stuff back.
Well,
in.
you're a stuff kind of guy. 2 out rather to Cal Gentry, and he takes a strike. Cal with a bounce out to his counterpart Barry at second base in inning number 1.
And of course, Cal finishing off the top half of this inning with that great defensive play.
Went back on the short pop-up and threw the guy out at the plate, rather.
Yeah, had to kind of go up over the shoulder a little bit to make that catch. And was able to fire a laser beam. He pulled out his shortstop arm on that throw to the plate.
Sauerbauer with the next offering to Cal Gentry. It's low and away. 2-1 now the count on the Bobcats' second sacker. Cal going after All-American honors once again in his junior year after trailing all the way down to 310 last year. My goodness. All-American freshman as he has to duck out of the way of that high, hard one. 3-1 on the Perry product. Sauerbauer readies the 3-1. Missed it high, ball 4. So a 2-out walk extends the inning for GC. And the Colonials will send Wesley Womack to the plate. Maybe he can launch another one here. Talking to him in the dugout before the game, he says this is just, sometimes you think too much when you're out there. You just got to react. And I said, yeah, see ball, hit ball, right? And he said, you bet.
Yeah, up over PBC All-Academic Team selection again this year for Womack. He may be thinking a bit too much, right?
And he will drive one to left center field. That one is going to be out of here. We just talked about it, and Mr. Womack deals it over the Kurt sign in left center.
West doesn't do that a whole lot with opposite field power. He is normally jet stream to right field like he was last night. But that one was an opposite field jack and lots of fire on that one.
Home run number 7 for Wes Womack. Give him 2 more runs batted in, brings him up to 33 for the year. And the Bobcats are on the board thanks to the power of the Bobcat right fielder. Man, another shot. That one wasn't tagged quite as well, but still got out of here with no problem. Beyond the pine trees circling left center.
Well, I know Wes came back for multiple reasons, but probably one of them was to think about the potential of a pro career.
Austin Holloway will sky to center field as Garrett Kirkwood tracks that down.
And one of the things that Wes was missing in his great numbers last year was home runs. I think he only had like 3 or something on the entire season last year. So he was trying to, up the power numbers a little bit, and he's starting to do that as we hit the meaty part of this season here.
So Georgia College on the board. The Colonials trailing 3-2. I'll hand it over to Mr. Weston when we come back on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
Change is constant. Technologies, careers, society. Georgia College is not about landing your first job. It's about preparing for success in a changing world. From the moment you step on campus, you have an immediate sense of belonging. At Georgia College, learning takes place all around us. Our students are critical thinkers, ready to graduate to a complex world. Georgia College, your public liberal arts university.
Bradley Kamak to take on 6, 7, 8 in the Columbus State lineup here. This is where they've done some of their damage, a couple of hits and an RBI in this portion of the lineup. But Will Wilbanks' first trip was a strikeout swing, and that was in the second, so he's 0 for 1. Wilbanks, the designated hitter, takes a look at a first pitch for a strike. Looked like maybe a slider. Speed and some movement to it for Kamak.
Kamak throws his breaking pitches a lot of different speeds. He can adjust on the fly.
0-1 is chopped to the left side. Green comes up with it, throws it to Cook over at first. And a simple first out there for the Bobcats.
Tried to catch that before it got on the second bounce and caught it on the grass, and a little double tap for double G to make the throw. And Bobcats will have the bullpen up already here in the fourth inning as Kamak has gotten back in the ball game thanks to the blast by Womack, but GC cannot afford to get it slip further down.
Speedy Kendall Ford at the plate now, 1 for 1 with a single. Takes a look at a first pitch strike as well.
Got Ford shaded a little bit toward right field by Cam Hill, the center fielder for the Cats.
Shallow as well for Hill, as that's another pitch called for a strike. Ford from Decatur, a transfer from Georgia State. That, of course, the alma mater of one Jason Eller, head coach of the Colonials today. Sent to the left side again. Stays down nicely for Young. Going to have to come up quickly, and he does for out number 2.
Yeah, very speedy runner even from the right side, and Young knew he had to make a strong, straight throw. Ball came up very nicely for him.
Yeah, didn't charge that that roller that was kind of a medium speed. It wasn't hit real hard. And play was close over at first, but a good strong throw from Young got the job done. Drake Kirkwood up now. He's 0 for 1 with an RBI, fielder's choice. Also scored a run. Pitch outside for a ball for Kirkwood. He's one of the two Canadian brothers here. Transfers from Colby Community College.
Will says that's in Kansas. So they're moved over from Kansas to Georgia.
1-1 now the count after a big cut and a miss there. Kirkwood probably in his first year with the Cougars as a junior. And that is a strike. Followed his brother Garrett here. Garrett listed as an outfielder. And coming up next. 1-2 the count with 2 down here in the top of the fourth. Here it comes. Cut on a miss, and he goes down on strikes. That is strikeout number 6 for Kamak. And it finishes off the fourth. The Cougars go in order, 1, 2, 3. Colonials coming up here in the bottom of the fourth. You're listening to Georgia College Baseball on the Colonial Broadcast Network. I don't know what we're doing there, but you're still listening to it anyway. We'll be right back.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
All right, folks, let's go to the bottom of the fourth. Score 3-2. Cougars out in front here. Going to be Garrett Green, Cassius Young, and Will Hudgens due up for the Colonials here in the fourth inning. Garrett Green 0 for 1, a fielder's choice. That ended the first inning. Bogart, Georgia native, transfer from USC Upstate. It's been a redshirt season there, and 4 here now with the Bobcats. We'll honor him tomorrow as well. First pitch coming in, and it's outside for a ball.
All of his teammates are saying a very well-deserved honor for him for the John Kurtz Award back on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett's one of those guys that just, workmanlike, not terribly flashy. Big cut and a miss there, but really has a tendency to just get the job done, and is called on to do a lot of different things. Played third and first and second all this year alone, and really has risen to that challenge in those multiple spots. Over 200 career hits for him. And, he probably won't appear in the record books anywheres, but really just a very solid guy.
Just like that solid single right up the middle, you bet.
Tags a single, a worm burner up the middle. That's leadoff base runner for GC. Looks like the second time we've done that in this contest. And that'll bring up Cassius Young. Young, the Bobcat, or Colonial shortstop. No official at-bats for him. He walked in the second. Young from Atlanta and Marist High. Got Green over at first. Might be thinking about a stolen base here, but it's tough with the lefty, and plus our first attempt didn't go so well.
And he kind of leaned back a little bit as Sauerbauer was dealing to the plate. Didn't know if he was going to come his way or deal to the plate.
Ball bounced up there for Young. A 1-0 pitch now. Fastball on the outside half for a strike. Cash with good extra base power. When he gets a hold of it, it'll go. He's got a big frame for a shortstop. Flip to first, and Garrett Green going to get the uniform dirty over there.
Sauerbauer in his second season with the Cougars out of Georgia Highlands Junior College up in Rome. A Noonan native and a senior for Coach Appleton.
That one misses. Going to be a 2-1 count here for Young.
Cash was ready to tee off on it, though. He kind of offered just a little bit and held up, fortunately for him.
Sure would be nice to get this thing evened up as we hit to the middle portion of the ball game. Another flip to first. A little bit of deception there for Sauerbauer as he looked toward the plate while firing toward the first base bag.
Good job by Brown to get it out of the clay over there. Otherwise, it skips past him. Pretty low throw for a tag throw.
2-1 pitch is ripped to center. Going to hang up there, though. Got a good chunk of it, put a pretty good charge into it, but Kirkwood has it for the out.
Cash faked the bunt and then drew the bat back at the last second and then pounded away on it. Almost was able to deposit it in a gap.
So 1 out for Will Hudgens. Hudgens also no official at bats as he walked as well in the second. Hudgens from Dunwoody, transfer from Georgia Southern. Came here to play his last season of eligibility with brother and freshman pitcher Josh Hudgens. He was warming up earlier. We might see Josh today. The pitch, tried to check his swing. I think he did go around. Yes, home plate umpire said he did on that pitch in the dirt.
Yeah, risk reward for our DH all season long for Mr. Hudgens.
Yeah,
he
Hudgens
does not get cheated on the old swing.
Yeah, Hudgens puts just about all of Hudgens into his swing.
And
so it's hard to have a check, like that. He's not going to be able to check too many times, as he just is bad intentions with every cut. Now he's deep in the hole here, 0-2.
Attempted to give the Bobcats the lead with that hefty swing.
Did have a 3-game stretch of consecutive ball games with home runs earlier this season, did Will. So you can't hang one over the plate on him. The 0-2. Outside, good idea there for Hudgens to lay off. That's not a strong suit for him. Again, 38 strikeouts to 11 walks on the season for Will. Next closest on the strikeout number is Saunders with 20. Low and away again. That one didn't miss by much.
Yeah, tough pitch to take.
Will with a good job. Showing some patience here. Must be something we've been working on in practice with the senior righty. Colonial DH today. Got a hole on the right side to work with and a little bit on the left side as well. Got some space in between the fielders here. Flip to first. It kind of got Hudgens played on the lines a bit. And double play depth, of course, up the middle. 1 down, bottom of the fourth. Sauerbauer, long look to first. And he comes to the plate. Chopped left side, but foul.
Curveball kept breaking in on Will. He was able to foul it off to stay alive. Unfortunately, couldn't get the bat head out in front quickly enough.
So count remains 2-2 here. Hudgens' beard coming back in nicely. It's good to see. The pitch well outside and a full count now. Of course, Will and the rest of the baseball squad had to lose their facial foliage 1 week into the season. They had a deal going with Coach Eller where if they lost 2 games in a row, everybody had to shave. No more beards.
No more beards.
And sure enough, we did against Tampa. And in between games of a doubleheader, everybody went to the locker room and shaved. 4-6-3 goes the double play ball. And that will end the bottom of the fourth. Shoot, that's our second double play of the day.
41st of the year that we've hit into.
Ouch. Well, can't get anything going in the fourth. 4 complete now. Georgia College trailing by a run. It's 3-2 here. We'll be right back with more on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
Hey, Banks. Have a seat and let me make you uncomfortable. Up those grades, son, or the only position you'll be playing in college is sitting on me. You're still awake? Have a seat on old Mr. Bench. At least your buns will fall asleep. Is this the one about the high school hotshot who gets benched in college?
Hey, man, T, move down.
It's a tearjerker!
Moving on to the top of the fifth here. Georgia College trailing by the slimmest of margins, 3-2. Got Garrett Kirkwood, number 9 hitter for Columbus State, to lead off. He had a double, RBI double at that, in the second. Pitch taken for a strike. Lefty batter is Kirkwood. Kamak up to 66 pitches now on the outing. The 0-1 delivery bounces off the plate, so a 1-1 count. Sorry, folks, a little tickle in the throat there. Fight my way through that.
Looks like you need another Coke Zero.
Yeah, I am dry. That'll be a between innings, perhaps. So 9-1-2 due up for the Cougars. The 1-1 delivery from the Colonial right-hander is taken for a strike. Big day for Georgia College athletics. Got softball in action up at Augusta University. Final doubleheader of the season. 2-2 the score in the top of the second.
Big win last night with North Georgia knocking off number 4, huh?
Absolutely. It was a nice victory. We were trailing 4-0 at one point in that ball game. Came all the way back from behind there. Ended up winning 8-5 against number 4 team in the country, the regular season Peach Belt champs in North Georgia. 2-2 pitch. Chopped up the middle. Could be trouble there. I think Young probably should have just hung on to it. Oh, he got lucky there. The throw hit the runner. That's going to be an infield single for Garrett Kirkwood. But that was a rather errant throw. If that does not hit Kirkwood as he gets past the first base bag, he might be able to take second on that.
Yeah, I think if Cash had that to do over again, he probably would have just held on to it because the ball was bounding so high and his momentum was basically carrying him to right field. And the throw eluded Cook, who's not the biggest of first basemen as well. Fortunately, it did hit the runner.
So Kirkwood over at first. And Grant Berry now at the plate. Berry takes a look at a first pitch strike. His 2 trips, he's come up empty. A strikeout looking and a ground out to first. Cougar second baseman, another left-hand batter to face Kamak. Back-to-back lefties. Flip over to first, and back safely is Garrett Kirkwood. Let's take a look, see Kirkwood's got any steals on the year. Oh, Garrett's got 12 stolen bases. Been caught 4 times. The pitch. Might have been a pitch out there. I don't know. That didn't look like standard missed ball there.
Right.
Scott's going to agree. Okay.
I agree with you. It looked like they'd called for the pitch out, but it was a little bit wilder than usual. GC's got double-barrel bullpen activity. Luke Scudeleri, the lefty, throwing along with right-hander Colin Lacurto. Both saw action yesterday.
A couple of guys throwing on the side as well, so getting all sorts of arms going. 1-1 pitch is rifled through the right side. A lot of hits over there. That must be the hot spot today, is single through the right side, back-to-back hits. It is the 7th of the ball game for Columbus State.
Good job by Berry to stay on that ball and yank it to the right side. So they've got things started well for the Cougars in the top half of inning 5.
Drew Webb up now, having trouble making some contact today. 0 for 2 with a pair of swinging strikeouts. Right fielder here in a big spot. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try and drop down a bunt here.
Yeah, Bobcats are thinking the same way, Al. They got the corners up.
Squares the bunt, pulls it back, takes the ball inside on the breaking pitch. Is Webb called upon often to do this?
Yeah, he leads the team in sacrifices with 4 right now, so trying to get the 5th one down.
Yeah, at this point in the season, your leader has 4. You know,
right.
Just sacrifice bunt not really as prominent as it used to be in the ball game.
Well, even last year the Bobcats had so many sacrifice bunts.
Ooh, there's a good one. Nicely done. Throw to first, going to pull the runner off there, so that's going to be an error on Garrett Green.
Garrett may have taken a little too much time to unload that and drew Cook off the first base bag toward home plate.
So that's going to load him up here, Scott. Got nobody out. Kamak in another tough situation.
Boy, he's been in and out of it today. He's had 2 perfect innings, 1, 2, 3s, but the other 3 have been messy.
So bases all loaded up. Kamak will go back to the windup as he takes on Robert Brooks. Brooks is 0 for 1 officially, a strikeout, and was hit by a pitch. Late on the swing there, taps it foul off the end of the bat.
It's interesting last night to see Roddick come in the 9th inning. He had been starting for the Bobcats. I thought he was going to be starting this series, but he came in and closed out the ball game and got the win when GC rallied for the victory. So probably Bradley Spinner, as you mentioned, will get the ball to start tomorrow's game.
0-1, lifted, foul territory right side. Cook gives chase. He's battling the sun and runs out of real estate as that goes on the other side of the fence down the first base line.
Cougars may have tried to score on that foul pop if Cook was able to reel it in. It was so far away and all his stuff was headed out of play instead of back toward the plate. He'd have to really do a great pirouette and fire to the plate.
Yeah, it would have been very similar to the double play ball that Gentry pulled off.
Right.
But maybe even a little bit more difficult as you're battling the fence and everything down the line. 0-2 is up and away. Brooks lays off. Bases all loaded up with Columbus State players here. Got to find a way to get an out. In on the corners, double play depth looks like up the middle. Tap foul back to the fence. A strikeout will be awful nice.
Brooks almost cooperated there, but just got a threat of the ball to the backstop off the end of the bat.
So Soperton's finest has another baseball. Ready to deliver here on a 1-2 for pitch number 80 of the outing. Here it comes. Low and away, trying to get him to fish for one. He would not. A little bit of lateral movement late there for Kamak. Good pitch. So 2-2 the count. Beautiful sunny day here as the sun's just about right overhead. This is sky to left. Going to be deep enough to score a run as all the way to the track goes Conahan to grab that. Going to try and cut down a lead runner, maybe at second. Nope, throw gets away. Not enough for anybody to advance, though. So no error on the play. Sacrifice fly for Robert Brooks, and the Cougars are up 4-2.
And Brooks flirting with the salami there. He came up about 10 feet short as Conahan was having that back foot on the warning path and maybe had the breeze cooperated. It's picked up and it's blowing in from left field. Had it gone out to left field, that might have charged it out of here. And good base running by the Cougars. Everybody taking an extra base on that long fly.
Team high 35th run batted in on the season for Robert Brooks, and that brings up Chase Brown as the lefty stares down things here with Kamak. 2 hits for Brown today, both in the exact same spot, and Cook is there right now.
Yep.
So the scouting report has been officially read here. We have made the adjustments.
Well, not going to gamble with Scuttleary coming in to face the left-hander. Maybe he will now, as Kane Keith has come out of the dugout. I thought with Luke up and throwing, they may go with Scuttleary.
Yeah, we got to get Kane some theme music, you know, like the Imperial March there in Star Wars. That you know, every time he's in there, he's always bringing the hook with him.
Yep,
and he is this time as well.
Yep, he brings the hook again.
All right, so we're going to take a brief break, tell you all about Luke Scuttleary in just a moment. Hopefully Luke can get us out of this jam with no more runs across. We'll be right back here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
Okay, back to action here. We got the freshman lefty Luke Scuttleary on the hill.
Yeah, he comes in for his 13th appearance. He's 1-0 on the year. No earned run averages yet. Only 6 2/3 innings, including a third of an inning last night with the strikeout of another lefty. He has given up just 5 hits and 10 strikeouts to 6 walks. Opponents hitting .208 against the freshman left-hander.
Have to see if this will be a one-batter outing as well for Luke, as you have a righty hitter up next and some righties ready to go in the bullpen. I think Lacurdo could come in here. That was the curveball from Luke, and it misses low. And is able to lay off that as Brown. Now Brown, again, has been active, a double and a single to his credit today for Chase Brown. Long look in here for Luke as Fort Scott, Kansas native and a transfer from Independence Community College. Snaps that curveball into the zone again. 1-1 now the count. One out here, runners on second and third in the top of the fifth. Columbus State has plated a run already, would like to keep that right there. Luke spins the ball behind his back, has the pitch he wants now. 1-1 delivery, and it looked like another breaking pitch. And it just trickles outside, 2-1.
Well, as you said during our time out here, Al, the Bobcats have called on Scuttleary on a number of occasions here just to get the big out, and he's responded for the most part. And a big out here to get with Brown.
Yep, true freshman, and he's pitched in a couple of big spots. He wasn't real active early in the season, but has earned himself more and more playing time. There's a nice fastball, fired low, though, and the count now 3-1.
Yeah, could have brought it up just a little bit, but plate getting a little bit squeezed on Scuttleary as well.
Yeah, Brown being very good and patient up there.
Now he can be really particular with a 3-1 coming. If it's not exactly what he wants, he'll lay off.
The set, the pitch is tap foul back to the fence. Had it timed perfect. Was just underneath it.
So Luke battling back to fill it up.
Full count here for the first baseman for the Cougars. Bobcats need an out any way they can. Time call at the plate. Scuttlery taking a little bit too long for Brown's liking.
He has held all 5 of his batters that hit from the left side without a hit so far. 0 for 5 against Scuttlery for left-handed hitters.
Payoff pitch, here it comes. Skied to right. This is probably going to be deep enough to score another run. Back to the track and caught by Womack. He gets the throw in, but a run does come in to score. It is now 5-2 Columbus State.
A deep blast off the bat of Brown. That one almost carried out of here as Wesley was maybe a step or two away from the fence in right field.
So the sacrifice fly there.
Coach Kane Keith back out, Al.
Brown up to 17 RBI on the season. And that's probably going to be it for Luke. He got an out, but unfortunately got a run as well. So Luke will head to the dugout, and we'll get Colin Licurdo out here. We'll tell you about his numbers when we come back.
just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Senior right-hander Colin Licurdo comes on for his 25th appearance of the season. He leads the Bobcat Colonial staff in appearances. It'll be his 24th relief appearance. Colin with a 2-0 one-loss record. He's at .235 for his earned run average for the year. Licurdo has only pitched in 23 innings. Again, a situational type reliever for GC with 14 hits. He's given up 7 runs, 6 of them earned, 17 strikeouts to 6 walks. Opponents only hitting .169 against Licurdo. He pitched last night, went 2 full innings against these Cougars with a couple of strikeouts, hit a batter, did not allow a hit or a run, and faced 8 batters for Columbus State last evening, and was able to get out of a jam that Kyle King put himself in the 5th inning. Now he's trying to shut down the Cougars after they've picked up 2 more runs here in the 5th inning, and they've got a 3-run advantage on GC once again. So the Colonials trying to get out of this 5th without any further damage, as the Sidewinder will be on to try and close out this top of inning number 5. He'll face Bullock with a runner at third base. and 2 out. Dane Bullock's day 1 for 2, a base hit and a run scored, then a pop out to Cal Gentry, who turned it into the double play with a throw to the plate. First pitch in there for a strike, got the inner third as it hooked back over the plate. Licurdo with that high set and the crouch, and that one almost got away from Austin Holloway. Good job of snagging it before it spins off the mitt. Licurdo has been successful most of the time with runners on. 7 for 43 for batters against him for a 163 batting average. There's a strike on the outside corner. And Colin now 1 pitch away from possibly wrapping this 5th inning up. An error helping out the Cougars here in the 5th inning. And a couple of sacrifice flies. Swing and a miss. Got him. And Licurdo comes in to put out the fire, but the Cougars pick up a couple of more runs. They do it only on 1 hit. A big error and a runner in scoring position. Colonials come up, bottom of the 5th, now down 5-2 on the Colonial Broadcast Network.
Technologies, careers, society. It is impossible to predict the future. The jobs of tomorrow may not even exist today. At Georgia College, you will learn to be a critical thinker, to develop new ideas and out-of-the-box solutions, because those are the kind of lifelong skills you'll need in a rapidly changing world. The way we see it, it's not really about what you know. It's about how you think. Georgia College, your public liberal arts university.
Hitters 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Bobcat Colonials. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Conahan, Cook, and Hill scheduled up. Sauer-Brower now with a 3-run advantage. GC's got some more work to cut out to get back in this ball game as the Cougars try to even up the series to send the set to the rubber game tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock here at the Kurtz. Shane Conahan looks at 1 high for ball 1. Conahan hit into a 4-3 double play. Bobcats have banged into 2 double plays again today and 2 double plays last night. So Cougars doing a good job of getting the defense down as Conahan squares and takes it low for a ball. 2-0 on the Bobcat left fielder. In addition to a Coke Zero, it's a Snickers bar.
Well, you gotta say sustained out here, you know.
There you go.
That's a key piece. Hit well to right field, liner right at the right fielder Webb for the out. Conahan got a good chunk of that ball, but just right at that right fielder. My good friend Al Dixon heading up to the press box to say thanks for the pregame stuff there with the 50th anniversary team. Al, great supporter, Georgia College Athletics. I'm often in his foursome in the golf tournament fundraiser in the fall, so I know Al fairly well. Jason Cook at the plate. Cook a fly to right, 0 for 1.
Are the other two guys in the foursome L's as well?
Yes. It was
really?
it was my dad, and him and me, and then Dickie Irwin.
Oh, okay. So 3 out of 4 L's.
3 out of 4. Sky to right, pretty similar to the hit there by Conahan, and the same result as well. As that line out makes 2 quick outs here in the 5th. Kind of settling in is Sauerbruer, as if you count the double play ball, let's just say that he's faced the minimum for, about 2 1/3 here, as he's looked pretty sharp over the last couple of innings. Back to the top of the order, Cam Hill. Hill is 0 for 2, a fly to left, and a ground out to short. The pitch bounces in that right-hand batter's box, 1-0. Beautiful day to celebrate that 50th anniversary team. Beautiful day for some baseball, too. My goodness. Can't get much better than what we're looking at today. Sunny, a little bit of breeze every once in a while, and Hill chops one foul. Second of 3 ball games between the Cougars and Colonials for today. Tomorrow we'll get a 1 p.m. start for the final ball game of the series. Georgia College with a 5-4 victory last night. So looking to get a series victory with a come-from-behind win here today, as that one is fouled back behind us up on the hill. Count now 1-2.
Yeah, in the dugout before the game, the guys were talking about getting an early start, trying to avoid having to come from behind. Well, they've got to do it again today. We're not successful in getting the early start on Sauerbruer.
Yep. Columbus State spotted 3 runs in the top of the second. That got the scoring started as that fat ball misses high. Colonials brought it within 1 with a 2-run third. That was highlighted by the home run from Wesley Womack for both of those runs. Tapped foul. It looks like it caught the catcher there back behind the plate. Going to take a brief break, let him recover some.
Yeah, Stafford. Yep, Stafford will walk the ball out about a third of the way to the mound. Brooks took that helmet off to make sure he could breathe, I guess.
Deuces Wild here at Kurtz Field. Dan the pitch. Bounces in the left or the right-hand batter's box again. Full count. So after that 2-run third for the Cats, it was even right back out with a 2-run top of the 5th here. And we stand 5-2. Hill trying to get some 2-out magic going for Georgia College. Won't do it there. Cut on and missed for the final out of the inning. Is that the first strikeout today? Yeah, look at that. That's the first strikeout of the ball game for Sauerbruer. And it finishes off the 5th. 5 in the books now. Columbus State 5, Georgia College 2. We'll be right back with more here in just a moment.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
Bobcats make the innovation station call to the bullpen as Georgia College will get the freshman right-hander Josh Huggins in. Josh making his 10th appearance. It'll be his 6th in relief. He's 0-1 for the year, a high 6.91 earned run average. Hudgens has pitched in 14 and a third innings, given up 16 hits, 14 runs, 11 of them earned. And he struck out 11 batters, walked 9. Opponents hitting .281 against Josh Hudgens.
So Hudgens, the 4th pitcher of the ball game for GC as we reach the 6th inning. And you know what it's time for, folks. It's that sock update, folks.
We didn't do it. I did not do it last night out of,
that's understandable.
Yep,
you wouldn't want to
memory of you.
Okay.
No.
All right, so socks showing for center field there, Cam Hill. The corner outfielders, no, though. So no socks for Conahan or Womack. In the infield, we got socks showing at 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, but no socks for Cassius Young there at short. Socks behind the plate for Holloway, and no socks showing for our new pitcher, Hudgens. That's your sock update brought to you by absolutely nobody.
And done extremely well, as always.
Will Banks, the DH, 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to 3rd his last trip, and now he's deep in an 0-2 hole after a couple of empty cuts.
I'm sure there's been a lot of social media clamoring about the sock update whenever we have ball games.
Well, you know, I am pleased that the folks can contain themselves a little bit, you know, and not, you know, just absolutely blow up our feeds on these sorts of things.
That would not be good. Oh, nice
Called
pitch.
strike 3. How about it, Josh Hudgens? Good morning, good afternoon, and good night there for out number 1.
Pretty pitch, just buried in on the inner third of the plate, and Wilbanks caught looking.
Shortstop Kendall Ford, he's a good one. Got 1 for 2 day today. Speedy shortstop.
Bobcat pitchers now with 8 strikeouts combined.
Ford in the right-hand batter's box against the righty Hudgens. Bounces one on the left-hand side of things.
Yeah, we ought to do an Instagram account on the
sock update.
Sock update, yeah. Maybe next year.
Specifically just for socks.
There you go.
So that's your yeah, that's a good thought. Maybe we'll start to act that up a little bit. I like it.
Got you thinking now.
Oh yeah. That's dangerous. 2-0 the count. As Ford going to take a little bit of a walk there. So middle game of this 3-game set. It's the final conference series for Georgia College here in 2019. 2-0 pitch.
Ooh.
Comes inside and hits him. I think that was helmet. It was either helmet or shoulder, or maybe both.
You're not too happy as he heads down the first base bag. Very displeased with that plunking by Mr. Hudgens.
And it looked like a waving the front arm, that left arm there. So I think it did hit him in the shoulder.
Second, to make it the 3rd time that Hudgens has hit a batter. And for Ford, he will reach base for the 6th time this season being hit by a pitch.
So Ford dangerous at first base. This is the Peach Belt Conference leader in steals with 20 in 27 tries. So he has been caught a little bit. We'll see what happens here for Holloway, and he's taking a long look at the third base dugout to see how we're going to play this thing. Drake Kirkwood at the dish. He's 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice, drove in a run with that, also scored a run. And then in his last at bat, he struck out.
Coach Collins had some information to share with Kirkwood before he got into the plate as we go over to first base.
Yeah, good quick snap throw there by Hudgens over to first. No pickoffs for Hudgens on the season. And runners successful 1 out of 2 times against him this season in stolen base attempts. Cut on and miss. Last I checked, Holloway behind the dish I think was in the top 5 in runners caught stealing. That was a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how the last couple of weeks have treated the freshman catcher, but it's good to have those kind of numbers going.
Yeah, I remember you had a note on that for last weekend's set.
Yep, caught 17 runners stealing. Is that what you said, Will? Yeah, I mean, that's a real solid number. Sounds like a lot. Again, I don't know the exact stuff there, but seems like a pretty good number to me. So strength versus strength perhaps here. We'll see who wins out on this. Kirkwood with an 0-1 count. Hudgens, long look in. Dangles that right arm down there with the ball at the end. Runner goes. Sent through the left side. That'll be a base hit. Able to take the extra bag because of the hit and run is Ford. Runners on the corners now with one down.
Ford got the good jump on the freshman. Would have probably had second stolen pretty easily, but they threw up the hit and run card, and Kirkwood responded.
So Drake Kirkwood picks up the 8th hit of the ball game for Columbus State. First for him today, though. And here's brother Garrett Kirkwood, who's got 2 hits in as many at-bats, an RBI and a run scored. And here comes Kane Keith. Might be switching to another lefty. We do have one going in the pen. About be time for Jacob Hester, I think. And yes, it is. Will we bring in Mr. Hester? Got Perry Keith warming up as well. I did not see when Hester started, so I'm not sure how warm he is.
Taking his time down there, so it looks like he might be ready. There's no cap wave from the bullpen coaches.
Got Brooks Luther out there. Bobcat Sr. was a 3-year member of the pitching staff here at GC and retired this season to help out on the coaching side of things. We're going to honor him as part of the senior festivities tomorrow as well. It looks like Hudgens will stay out there for at least one more batter. So Hudgens remains on the bump here against Garrett Kirkwood. Runners on the corners, just one out. Bobcats already trailing by 3 here. Got to find a way to put some stuff together. Find a way. Double play ball would be awful nice. Hudgens square in the bunt, and a nice one down the first base side. A little safety squeeze going to bring in a run. That is now 6-2 the score on the bunt by Kirkwood. I think that was a 1-3 finish on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. Excellent execution. They got the bunt down and executed it very well. Ford read it, waited until it was contact down the line, and he was able to come in and score.
Kirkwood now with 19 RBI on the season as Ford comes in to score on the play. Drake Kirkwood now checks into second base with 2 down for the top of the order in Grant Berry. Berry, 1 for 3, single and a run scored for him. That came in his most recent at bat just an inning ago. First pitch in there for a strike. Looked outside.
Thought it was, and I thought didn't see him ring up the strike, but
see how the rest of this bat goes. Maybe we'll get a correction from the umpire. But as it stands right now, 0-1. Flip of the throw to second. Did they get him? No. Cassius Young going down to his posterior to grab that one as his feet failed him a little bit. Still able to apply the tag on Kirkwood. Almost got him.
Good effort there by Cash to just make sure he got the baseball first and then still had presence of mind to put the tag on Kirkwood there.
1-0 the count.
So that was a ball.
Yes.
Yes.
We stand corrected.
I stand by you.
To first base, Cook knocks it down, underhand flip, just got him by about a step and a half. And Berry retired on the 3-1 put out there. But one more run comes across on the safety squeeze. And 1 run on 1 hit. No errors. They leave 1 on the base pass. Heading to the bottom of the 6th. It's getting late, folks. Bobcats need 4, 6-2. Be be right back with more here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
To have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level, that was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Okay, so for the Colonials here in the 6th, going to be Gentry, Womack, and Holloway due up. Good spot to try and find some runs when you got 3 guys that are 1, 2, 3 in the Peach Belt Conference in batting average, I guess.
Hey, that's good timing, huh?
So, out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by the Pickle Barrel Cafe and Sports Pub. Only Georgia College action in play right now is softball at Augusta, and unfortunately trailing in the top of the 5th, 3-2 in ball game number 1 of that doubleheader. Gentry first pitch misses outside. Other baseball scores: Augusta and Lynn University in non-conference play tied at 4 in the top of the 7th. And looks like Georgia Southwestern 1, UNC Pembroke 0 in the top of the 4th as well. And a little bit later start for Lander and North Georgia, as well as Flagler and USC Aiken. We did, of course, get the early start today at noon, so we could fit in the ball game before the big athletic auction tonight. 1-1 to count here for Gentry. The kick and the fire from Sauerbrower to the right side. Slow roller, could be tough one. Yep, he's going to beat it out. The throw gets away as well. Gentry may have been able to advance there if he was aware of things, but we'll take the infield single. He'll lead off base runner.
Sorry, Al. He took that quick right turn, and that extends his hitting streak to 23 games in a row now, and reach base streak the same. He had walked earlier in the game, so that extended that reach base streak.
23 in a row.
23 in a row for Cal. Great junior year. That's the longest hitting streak for any Georgia College ball player this season. Garrett Green has a current 10-game streak.
Got a single today, so make that 11.
Make it 11, all right.
Wesley Womack at the plate. Last trip up for him was an opposite field home run for 2 runs. He is 2 for 2 with a single and that home run. He's driven in a pair and scored once. That's a pretty full box score for the senior from Monroe, Georgia.
Going to be flirting with 400.
Sauerbrower delivers a curveball up around the ears of Womack, and he ducks out of the way. This is still Sauerbrower, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Nobody in the bullpen, by the way, for them. They're going to try and eat up some innings here like they did last night.
Pitch number 70 is all on the way here, so he's got plenty of bullets left in the gun. Tried to check his swing. I think home plate umpire thought he went around. It's going to be a 1-1 count. Do you think he went around, or was that location?
I think it's a swing.
Okay. Colonial right fielder digs back in there. Lefty-lefty matchup in Columbus State's favor. The pitch. That is rifled to right. Hot hitting continues. Cut off nicely there by the right fielder for Columbus State, but not before Gentry can advance all the way to third. Womack jumping all over that pitch and sending it to right.
Had he elevated that, that could have been home run number 2 on the day. He just really rocketed it out there to right field.
So back-to-back singles puts runners on the corners with nobody out for Austin Holloway. Holloway still looking for his first hit today. He's 0 for 1 with a fly to center. Did reach on a walk in the first. 5 hits now in the ball game for Georgia College. After that single from Womack. The pitch. A little late on the swing for Holloway. Flares would foul back behind us.
That third hit of the day for Wes puts him at 402. Make it 403 as you round up for the season. 54 hits and 134 at bats. He's come a long way with that batting average since the start of the season.
Good quick math there, McLeod. I like it.
Well, thank the calculator on the phone.
I was going to let you take credit.
Yeah,
for it.
well, you know, can't let you fool the folks. That's not how I made my bones, buddy.
1-1 the count here. Holloway digs back in there. Limited action for Austin last year and really took good advantage of it, though. Hit 500 on the season as that grabs the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. And now that the starting job is his, the Eastside High grad is really taking advantage of it. Peach Belt All-Academic honoree. He will be. I think that gets announced later this year, so don't tell anybody yet.
Don't
Chemistry major. Throw to first, and that's almost fluttered away from the first baseman there. Let's see, what do we got on Austin? He was chosen to the Team USA All-Development Team. I don't know what that means, but it sounds important.
I'm sure his mom and dad would agree with you.
Yep.
Holloway's the next in the long line of really good catchers for the Bobcats and Colonials today. But getting the job done behind the plate, at the plate, throwing the runners out as well.
Yeah, it's quite a nice run here from Holloway to Purcell. It was it Perkle before that, right? Outside for a ball. Full count. I'm missing somebody.
Yeah. And all he was a consensus
Steve Hazel.
All-American. Steve Hazel, yeah.
My goodness. Yep, Hazel. He got Richard Perkle back there as well.
The nightmare from Norcross.
Yes. I wanted to make sure we got to Mr. Perkle. But yeah, catcher's a hot spot for GC. Runner goes and foul back to the fence. A little hit and run on the 2-strike count there. It was a payoff pitch.
And he had to reach out high, maybe swinging at ball 4, but trying to protect that runner as well. Holloway spinning away and taking a little walk outside the batter circle. Not happy with that swing.
So a full count here with nobody out. Austin trying to get something in play here as we're looking to score some runs for the first time since the 3rd inning. Been a little quiet for us today. Flip throw over to first, chases Womack back. He does have a... Wes has got a stolen base already today, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, he did get one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Picked up one in the 1st inning after that single. And there he goes. Up and away for ball 4. So that is going to load the bases with Bobcats with nobody out for steady senior and Kurtz Award winner Garrett Green. Green has already extended that hit streak, as we mentioned, out to 11 ball games. About another hit right here.
Cougars have Thomas Howell throwing in their bullpen, a junior from Ellaville and a transfer from ABAC.
So Green at the dish. Another Peach Belt All-Academic selection. Got quite a few of those this year. That's the 3rd time that he has made that All-Academic team. That's as many as you possibly can because you have to have sophomore status.
That's one thing Coach Eller really wanted to do when he came in here, and he's done it. He's gotten the team GPA back up above 3. And
yeah, I mean,
fantastic
for back baseball, up above. I don't know that we've
ever made it. Yeah,
he's put together some record numbers from a GPA standpoint.
Yeah.
But of course, Coach Eller doesn't go to a single class. It's the guys getting the job done. You know, I say he put up the numbers.
Right, but
sure
he's making sure that things get done in the classroom as well as on the field, and putting special emphasis on that has paid off. Bobcats helping out with that record athletic department GPA this past year.
Green with the 1-1 outside. That'll be a 2-1 count. During his high school time frame, Garrett was selected twice to the Georgia Dugout Club Top 100. And couple-time All-State team as well. 2-1 pitch. This is rifled to short. Backhand snag for one. On to first. Got him. What a beautiful double play turn there. And it all started with some flash of the leather by Ford at short.
Well, we talked about Ford's speed. He's got great speed with the feet and great speed with the hands. And the hands took that one away from Garrett Green, as you could not hit it much harder. As they turn their third double play of the ball game, GC is able to scratch a run across, but still down by 3.
So the 1 run comes in. 6-3 now the score. Got a runner at third and 2 down for Cassius Young. Not real sure if Green didn't beat that out at first base.
That was close.
Low and inside on Young. A pitch taken for a strike. Cash is 0 for 1 today. A fly to center and a walk for him today.
Well, that's the tough thing when you only got the one base umpire. He's got to make sure that out at second, then spin very quickly and make sure the out at first.
It's a lot of ground to cover. Absolutely.
But there was,
now.
Sorry, Alan, there was really no argument by first base coach Jake Sandlin or Coach Eller across the way. He had a good angle on it.
Young takes a look at another one. They're going to ask if he went around, and base umpire says yes, he did. So the count now 1-2. So Young going to have to protect here. Just got to find a way to drop one out there, bring in another run. Hit well to left field, going to hang up there. Bullock gives chase, and he will get underneath it for out number 3. So can't get a clutch 2-out hit there, and it finishes off the 6th inning. Georgia College does pick up a run, though, on the bases loaded double play ball. So after 6-3 the score, Columbus State out in front. Scott will take you the rest of the way here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
Seventh inning rolls around. Good job by the Cougars to get out of that mess with only 1 run scored. You got to tip your hat to the bad guys occasionally, and the Cougars escaped potentially disastrous inning.
Well, a couple extra attaboys for Ford there at short, as it was really that guy and that guy alone that saved their bacon in that inning.
Drew Webb, Robert Brooks, and Chase Brown set to hit for the Cougars, and it's on the inside corner for a strike from Josh Hudgens, who's on for his 2nd inning of work. He started the 6th frame, gave up a run. on just one hit and a hit batsman as well. The run scoring on a sacrifice bunt outside. 1-1 now the count. Webb on the day is hitless in 3 trips. He has reached on an error by third baseman Garrett Green in the 5th inning. Was stranded at third. Struck out his first 2 times up against K-Mac. Ropes one foul toward the Bobcat bullpen, and bullpen catcher makes a play down there. 1-2 now the count on the right fielder Drew Webb.
Hudgens, Management Information Systems major here at GC. Also football player in high school. I know that's a point in the recruiting process is to get the multiple sports stars.
Yeah, Jason really likes football players. He's big on football. He's always toting around one.
Yep, it's the toughness piece, and I think they actually have a football helmet that is worn from time to time in the dugout as well as a rallying cry of sorts.
2-2 saws him off, and he fouls it off. And that one ricochets all the way out toward shortstop.
Got to imagine probably Hudgens' quarterback, right?
I would think
pitcher
so.
quarterback. That probably comes a lot together, doesn't it?
Yep. I think Coach Eller likes the mentality of the football players, the toughness that you got to have to get the job done on the football field as well. And that can translate to toughness on the baseball diamond. We'll go 2-2 once again to Drew Webb. Lays off the inside pitch. Webb, a native of Midland, Georgia, and a graduate of Brookstone High School, a junior for Coach Appleton. Josh holding that ball down as he looks in for the sign.
Works from the stretch with the bases empty.
There you go. Got him swinging. Pitch may have been outside of the strike zone, but Hudgens records his first K of the day. 1 down for Robert Brooks.
Stepping up to the plate, number 19, Robert Brooks.
Brooks 0 for 1. He also has been hit by a pitch and had a sacrifice fly back in the 5th inning to drive in his team-leading 35th run batted in of the year.
Took about a month for Hudgens to get playing time here at GC. I know he was kind of down in the depth chart a little bit, but once he started throwing, they really liked the live right arm he has.
And that's a fastball that drilled off the home plate umpire as it trickles down the first baseline. And Coach Eller will come out to make sure that Don Stafford's okay. Didn't send the trainer out. He decided to check himself. So David Youngblood is still perched on the bench.
Maybe some medical history for our home plate umpire, perhaps.
It's possible.
A little self-diagnosis.
And Jason may have known that, so that's why he was out of the dugout. 0-1 the count on Brooks. Fastball pumped in right down Hancock Street for a strike. He was part of that double play that Cal Gentry caught the high pop fly in short right field, and Brooks was gunned down trying to score from third. Back in inning number 3.
Bobcats have 2 arms in the bullpen right now.
Strike 3 called. Brooks questioning the strikeout. He hopes he gets more of that when he's behind the plate instead of at the plate. And Brooks strikes out for the 2nd time today. Who we got throwing, bud?
Well, it looks as though the strikeout has provided some confidence in our pen, as now they are sitting down.
Okay. Punch Out will do that.
Yeah,
huh?
we had Perry Keith and Hester,
Okay.
Jacob Hester warming up, and now everybody's just going to sit down on the bench out there.
Well, Josh has struck out the first two batters he's faced here in the 7th. He'll take on Chase Brown.
That'll quiet down the pen in a hurry.
Yes, indeed.
2 strikeouts. Okay. All right.
All right. All right. We'll take some time away. Brown's had a good day at the plate. He is 2 for 2. Also had a sacrifice fly in that 5th frame. As Scuttlery gave up the run, it was not charged to him, but gave up the run on the sac fly. 17th RBI of the year for Brown.
Had to move out here for the outfield fence, back to a fence from the wooden outfield wall a couple years ago. And it was mainly due to the upkeep of it. It was starting to kind of rot out a little bit and that sort of thing with the humidity down here.
And much more expensive to replace the wood every couple, 3 years.
But
as
now
that one breaks in.
Now it's all chain link out there. But one of the things that that opens up for you is some fans to actually get in the outfield area. You see some, I think there's Augusta fan, or not Augusta, but Columbus State fans down the right field line. And someone's pulled up a truck over there and left. They got some chairs out, the whole shebangy.
All right.
Like they have a tent doing some tailgating right on the outfield wall there. And also distracting Shane Conahan at the point right now. You can see Shane looking back to him every once in a while, holding the conversation.
And that one's banged foul. Hopefully they're good guys down there, not the way Shane's talking to him.
Yeah,
not getting threatened or anything.
Got a dog over there, and they're really comfortable, aren't they? They're all
umbrella in the back of the pickup. It's really nice.
It's probably Conahan's family or girlfriend or something like that, just trying to get a little closer to their
guy.
Their Shane.
Their Shane. High and tight. And that'll be a free pass for Chase Brown to open, keep the inning going, rather, here in the 7th. And Dane Bullock will stand in. Bullock has a single and 3 trips.
Well, 2 strikeouts, quiet down the bullpen. 1 walk, gets them fired back up again. There you go, Hester and Keefe going again.
That's the life of a reliever, huh?
That's what you call a short leash right there.
Bullock with that single to left in the 2nd and scored. The pop out to Cal Gentry that turned into the double play in the 3rd, and then a strikeout against Licurdo in the 5th inning. Checks his swing, judged high. They'll appeal, and no swing, says our base umpire. That's Andrew Tumlin taking care of the base calls today. He'll be back behind the plate tomorrow. Hudgens with a look over to first. Stretches and pitches. Fastball got a piece of the jersey apparently. Tried to get out of the way and it kept coming in on him. So with Hudgens some control issues now after striking out the first 2 batters. He walks 1 and hits 1.
Well, entire infield gonna talk things through here with Hudgens, as it may be an opportunity to get somebody a bit more warm as well. Who do we have coming up? A lefty?
Will Banks is a lefty, the DH.
Up, and here comes Jacob Hester, so we've already made the call.
Yeah, Kane Keith had strolled out of the dugout. He has worn a path out there today from the dugout to the mound. So the Bobcats will take that Innovation Station call to the bullpen once again, as we'll get, pitcher number 6 on the day? Hudgens made quick work of the first 2 batters, but then the walk and the hit batsman ends his afternoon. We'll tell you about our reliever in just a minute on the Bobcats Broadcast Network.
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. Your whole world changes in an instant. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
Redshirt freshman Jacob Hester comes on as the latest pitcher for the Bobcats, trying to hold on to this 6-3 score.
Hester making his 12th appearance. They've all been in relief, no record, and a solid 3.68 ERA. 7 1/3 innings pitched, 9 hits against him, 3 runs, all earned, 5 walks and 6 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .321 against the lefty. Hester, a freshman, 6'2", 190 from Marietta, Georgia, and he spent a redshirt season at Division I Mercer.
Strangely enough, he has a better batting average against versus right-handed hitters at .318 compared to lefties at .333. He's only faced 6 left-handed batters on the season.
It looks like we got a pinch hitter as well, Scott.
Yep, they are going to their bench to try and make it a right-hander against a left-hander. As Matthew McDade, the freshman from Cape Coral, Florida, will be on as the first pitch is down low, bounced in front of the plate by Holloway.
McDade appears to be a regular starter, appearing in his 41st ball game. He does have 39 starts. 266 hitter with 3 home runs and 19 driven in.
Yeah, McDade did start at third base last night, I should say. Well, I apologize. He came in late in that ball game as a...
Yeah, I think we had him in the original starting lineup. He was a late scratch, was the freshman. I believe at third base, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And Drake Kirkwood went in the starting lineup for him, but it was a late decision there. Maybe something tweaked in the BP process or something.
I understand from Scott Miller, the great radio guy for Columbus, said that he's got some bicep tendonitis, so that's why he's was scratched last night. But batting here in the 7th inning with first and second occupied and 2 down, and he takes a changeup outside.
Well, you can see the sleeve on the right arm there for McDade as well, so maybe those things related. Get a little bit of compression on that right arm to help keep things together.
So Hester has missed the strike zone on the first 2 offerings to Matthew McDade. And it's outside that. We must have missed one. That's ball 4 to load the bases. So they have loaded the bases without the benefit of a hit, and you've got a pretty good hitter in Kendall Ford coming up now.
Well, one thing's for sure, you can't bargain on a ground out necessarily with the speed of a guy like Ford. Quick jog out to the mound. We're going to make another Innovation Station call to the bullpen as a right-hander will come in. One Keith calls on another, it looks like.
Kane calls on Perry as a very short day for Jacob Hester. He walks the only man he faces. We'll get Perry Keith's numbers to you in a minute on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
Oh, sorry. Out.
So Georgia College goes to the pen again here in this 7th inning, and it's Perry Keith coming on to try and shut down the Cougars.
Senior right-hander Perry Keith makes the appearance here. I'm looking for, I lost him. Where'd he go? There he is. Oh, making 21st appearance on the season, all in relief. 2-1 record, 5.79 the ERA. 18 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 18 hits. 12 runs, all of them earned, 5 walks and 16 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .265 against Keith. Now, Perry is a senior, spent 3 years in a Bobcat uniform, 5'11", 175 from LaGrange, Georgia, and a transfer from Gordon College.
Perry went an inning and a third last night, gave up a hit, walked a batter, and struck out 2. Faced 6 Cougars on the night. Held them in check as the Bobcats rallied for the win. And he's coming on here to try and shut down the Cougars one more time with the bases loaded. This thing started off very nicely for Hudgens with 2 strikeouts and then a walk, a hit batsman, and another walk, loading things up for Columbus State as they lead by 3 and want more here in the 7th. It's Kendall Ford at the dish. He is 1 for 2, also hit by a pitch. He scored a run in the 6th inning after getting plunked. And the let-up is in for a strike.
Opponents with runners on base. Opponents hitting .282 against Keith. 11 hits and 39 at bats. Sorry, Scott.
That's all right. 0-1. Ripped to left. Base hit. That'll chase 1 run home. And a second run, no. They will hold him up at third base. Collins put up the stop sign as Perry Keith gives up the single to Kendall Ford, who brings in the 7th run of the day for the Cougars. They lead at 7-3. Kendall Ford up to 16 runs batted in on his campaign now. And it's Drake Kirkwood. He'll pop it up into short right field. Womack cruises to his right. He's got it to retire the side, but they pick up a run, and they do it with only 1 hit. And Strand 3 base runners. 7th inning stretch time. Bobcats down by 4 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. You're on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Sam Sauerbauer now has his biggest cushion of the day, a 4-run bulge, as we head to the bottom of the 7th. And it's the bottom of the order due up for the Colonials today. Hudgens, Conahan, and Cook. Will 0 for 1. He also drew a free pass in the 2nd inning, but was part of a double play, the first of the day, turned by the Cougars. They have flashed the leather with 3 double plays against GC today.
Yeah, I can't help but think we've left some extra opportunities out there with those double plays turned. Of course, the biggest one came with the bases loaded.
Yep, in that 6th inning. Bobcats need some base runners. So do the Colonials. And that one's going to wrap foul of the third base line.
Hudgens as a leadoff hitter in an inning, reaching base 6 out of 18 times. That's 33% on the season. Got Harrison Veldsma getting warmed up for Georgia College in the bullpen. Looks like Bryce Bowen going to join him, get double barrel going again.
A plethora of pitchers today for GC have shown off their skills. Yeah. Popped up and behind home plates and just missed the aluminum stands to our left. A lot of folks scattering from that foul ball.
At this rate, you'd be concerned about what you have left tomorrow.
Sure.
But none of these pitchers have gone very long. You know, they're a batter or two batters apiece, so they could probably pitch again tomorrow, you know. Not too many pitches thrown really for any of them outside of K-Mac.
2-2 coming to Will. Got him swing. Oh, foul tip. Stayed alive barely, and that got a piece of Brooks's bare hand. He squeezed it a few times and shaking it as he delivered an errant toss back to his pitcher. So Hudgens somehow managed to stay alive, and he'll get another 2-2 offering. That one was almost too close to take. Might have been a bit high and inside, and that loads the count up 3-2.
Took a look at Sauerbauer there, a pleading stance. You know, both palms were faced to the air as if, what?
What do I got to do to throw a strike here? The payoff to Will Hudgens. Curveball, bang foul, third base side.
Yep, season winding down here in 2019 for GC. Got this series here, so 4 total games left today, tomorrow, and then 2 against North Greenville, the number 2 team in the country, a week from today. Is it number 4 now?
Yeah, I think they dropped down a little bit, but they're still battling for their Conference Carolinas championship, which they're hosting this year. Back to our fun place that we're in Tigerville, South Carolina. Hudgens, strong shot. Nice fielding by Ford, off the bag, safe. He pulled him up off the bag. So the errant throw by Ford allows Hudgens to beat the Rap at first. He had him dead to rights, but the throw sailed on him, and Brown had to jump to snag that one. So the error puts Hudgens at first. First error of the series for Columbus State, and Ford
how about that?
Had done such a great job. They have only gotten 42 errors on the year now. They've turned all those double plays and getting the job done defensively for the most part in this set. Cheyenne Conahan up now. Shane looking for his first knock of the day. And a liner out in the 5th inning, and he'll poke one into left field for a knock. So the Bobcats, with a hit preceded by an error, put the first 2 runners on. I'm sure Coach Appleton will give Sauerbauer a chance to get out of this, but the leash may be short. Casey Brown will come on to hit for Jason Cook. And 0 for 2 for Cook on his day at the plate. Casey comes in with a 137 batting average, 7 hits and 51 trips.
Brown 1 of 9 in pinch hit opportunities on the season.
Casey does have a home run with 8 RBI on the year, making his 30th appearance. He'll take over at first base for Cook when we go to the 8th. 1-0 pitch, got the outside corner at the letters. 1-1 now on a pinch hitter, Casey Brown.
Brown from Rincon and a transfer from South Georgia State. Played one season, it appears, there with Bradley Kamak, today's starting pitcher.
Yeah, he goes from the north part of the state all the way down to the south part, Douglas, Georgia. And that one sailed out. 2-1. And he settles for Middle Georgia for his
just cover
last
all
2 years.
All the bases, pun intended there.
Nobody out, 2 on for the Bobcats, trying to battle back in this one. Just missed away, held a little longer than usual by Mr. Brooks. He and Sauerbauer thought it was a strike.
Yeah, we'll take another base runner here. Load him right up. That would bring the tying run to the plate.
Bobcats need those runners on the pads. Down by 4. Sauerbauer steps off and pivots towards second. Hudgens reaching on an error. A single by Shane Conahan. And a 3-1 pitch. Nowhere near. Brown draws a walk to fill him up.
Scott, I got Chester there at second base. Did he pinch hit, or is that a pinch runner? Okay, so but it was Chester, not Conahan?
That is correct.
Okay, so you got Matthew Chester.
Apologies, folks, especially to the Chester family.
Well, they're probably here, just coming down from Evans. They've I saw them last night.
Well,
Papa Chester.
Papa Chester. You got to apologize when you make a mistake like that. I thought I saw number 36 rolling out of the batter's box, and nobody caught that early enough. So it's Chester on at second base. Hudgens moves to third. Brown is at first after the confab on the mound, and Cam Hill with a chance to make some noise for GC.
Sauerbauer just hit the 100 pitch mark. No action in the Cougar bullpen, though.
Down low for ball 1. Cam struggling at the plate today, 0 for 3. A fly to left, a ground out to short, and a strikeout.
Hill 2 for 3 in bases loaded scenarios on the season.
The 1-0. Popped it up in the infield. Infield fly rule will be called. Second baseman battling the high sky, and Barry brings it down. And Cam Hill's troubles today continue. A big out there for the Cougars as they get the first out of the 7th inning. Cal Gentry comes to the dish now.
Now batting number 6,
Gentry with a base knock in the 6th inning and a run scored. He also scored in the 3rd after drawing a free walk. And then a ground out to second, so 1 for 2 for the leading hitter in the Peach Belt Conference. Hoping to come up big one more time here.
Another bases loaded at bat here. This is 1 for 1 is all for Gentry on the season.
Takes the first pitch, low and away for a ball. They're anti-doubles, not really on the third base side, but first base side they are with a left-handed hitter.
A lot of space between second and first there.
Yeah.
If Gentry can get around on one, chop it through that right side, you're going to score 2 runs.
Great bat control from Mr. Gentry, and he'll pop it in the air to left center field. Trouble there, and they're not going to catch up to it. Bounds off the fence. 2 runs will score, maybe 3. Gentry heads to third with a 3-run triple, and the Bobcats are right back in it. Big knock in a big pressure situation for Cal Gentry.
Had Casey Brown over at first base. He was almost a backpack on Chester's back there as they were heading across the plate. My goodness, almost overran him. But 3 runs come across. Big hit from a big guy in Cal Gentry.
Hudgens, Chester, and Brown all score. You're right, I saw Brown. The dust from Chester's cleats were flying up in his face. It was like the Kentucky Derby
Yep.
a week early.
Yep, I think Chester was hanging out around the second base bag in the attempt that maybe the center fielder or the left fielder Bullock was going to catch that one. But he did not get to it. Bullock and also caromed off the fence himself.
Yes.
As he crashed into the wall there.
That was just below the scoreboard.
I believe Kirkwood had to come across to actually get that ball in.
1-0 to Wes. Drive up the middle, base hit. We are tied at 7. Wesley Womack with a 4-for-4 day. Give him his 34th run batted in, his third of the game. Wow. Well, sometimes when you wait late, good things happen, and that's what's happened to the Bobcats the last 2 games.
4 runs, 7th. And here comes Coach Appleton, going to make the change for the Cougars. And it's a shame, as though Sauerbauer was very sharp for a good majority of this contest, but just ran out of gas here in the 7th, and the Bobcats took advantage.
So Coach Appleton will go to the bullpen for the first time today. Georgia College has evened this up at 7 apiece. Tell you about the reliever when we come back on the Colonial Broadcast Network.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Thomas Howell on the hill now for the Columbus Cougars as Columbus goes to the bullpen in relief of Sauerbauer.
15th appearance for Howell on the season, all in relief, a 2-0 record, 3.28 the ERA. 24 2/3 innings pitched, 23 hits against him. 9 runs, all of them earned, 10 walks, 23 strikeouts, and opponents hitting .237 against the junior right-hander, 6 foot 185 from Ellaville, Georgia, and a transfer from ABAC down there in Tifton.
He will inherit Womack at first base. Still only 1 out in the 7th inning with 4 across for the Bobcats to tie it up. And Austin Holloway will stand in. He's 0 for 1, also has walked twice. From the first base side of the rubber, it's Howell, and his first pitch is a curve on the outside corner for a strike. So GC off the deck for the 2nd game in a row against the Cougars. Trailed 4-0 last night before tying it in the 8th inning and then winning it in the bottom of the 9th. 7-3 going to the bottom of the 7th here. Howell taps it up the middle, and Ford will get an out at second. The throw to first is off the bag, and Holloway slams into Brown, the first baseman. And Holloway upset.
I think collision there between Holloway and the first baseman, Brown. He's can't tell if Holloway's upset about the chopper or maybe if he might have come up a little bit lame on that collision. He's had some leg issues this year, and it would be a shame for Holloway not to be able to remain in the lineup. You can see him stretching things a little bit over there at first.
Bending over and then stretching the quads rather.
But yeah, it was his left leg that collided with the right leg of Brown over there at first.
Garrett Green looks at a strike.
Yeah, I don't think Austin's 100% over there, Scott. He looked like he had a little bit of a limp as he was headed back toward the bag.
2 down for Green with that runner at first. Fastball overthrown and a little bit low. Evens it at 1-1. Green with a single his middle trip. 1 for 3 on the day. Their bullpen has a lefty and a righty up. And the curve settles in for a strike. Garrett kind of gave up on that one. But it bent back over the heart of the plate. So 1-2 on the Colonial third baseman today. As Al said, he's been all over the diamond defensively for the Bobcat Colonials this year. 1-2, tap foul to the GC dugout.
Yeah, so many versatile ball players on this roster for GC this year. I don't think there's a single guy out there that has played just one position all year long.
A lot of moving pieces, trying to get the right pieces at the right time.
Even a guy like Womack in right field, I think he's played at least one ball game in center this season.
Here's the 1-2 again from Howell. Waved at and missed, and Garrett Green strikes out to end the inning. But what a big inning for Georgia College as the Colonials tie this thing up. The 3-run triple from Cal Gentry and a base hit by Wesley Womack highlights a 3-hit inning for Georgia College. And we're tied as we go to the 8th on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Well, the Rhinestone Cowboys come on to pitch for the Bobcats. Chris Rollick on the mound. He got the win last night, pitching a great 9th inning to keep the Bobcats in it, and they wound up winning it in the bottom of the 9th. Let's hope he can do the same thing here today.
Rollick making his 21st appearance, 3-1 the record, 3.18 ERA. 34 innings pitched, 28 hits against him, 16 runs, 12 of them earned, 20 walks, 32 strikeouts for the big right-hander. Opponents hitting .219 against Chris Rollick. Redshirt freshman, 6'6", 215 from Marietta, Georgia, and Walton High.
Faced 4 batters last night, walked 1, struck out 1, did not allow a hit.
Things getting interesting up in Augusta. Georgia College has taken a lead in softball, 5-3. Got the bases loaded in the top of the 7th, so might add some more insurances. They're just 3 outs away from a victory in game 1 of that doubleheader.
Garrett Kirkwood will start things off for Columbus State in the top of the 8th inning, and the left-handed hitting center fielder looks at it outside for ball 1.
Keeping track of things defensively, Scott, Casey Brown stays in to play first base. As he pinch hit there, as did Matthew Chester for Conahan, and he'll stay in and left as well. So new left fielder, new first baseman.
Fouls that one off the dish down the third baseline.
Might have caught some of his foot as well.
Yeah, I
there,
think so. Sounded like it hit something else.
Yeah, it funked funny up there. I don't know what that was.
1-2 now the count. Kirkwood's perfect on the day. A double to drive in a run in the second inning. A single and a run scored in the fifth inning. And then a sacrifice bunt with his 19th RBI in the sixth inning. He swings and misses, and he'll have to be thrown out. Holloway eventually finishes the play.
Yeah, he showed the home plate umpire the baseball, was thinking that he might have pulled it up before it hit the ground, but didn't get the call, so he had to complete it over at first.
Yeah, Blue said, nope, got to throw him out. 1 up and 1 down in the eighth inning for Grant Berry. Berry has a hit in 4 trips. So the leadoff man up for the 5th time today in a 7-7 ball game. Fastball misses outside. Berry with a strikeout looking in the first, a ground out to then first baseman Jason Cook in the second inning. Base hit back in the 5th and a run scored as he comes up with a healthy cut. And he grounded out to Cook again in the 6th inning. The 1-1 lifted foul out of play toward the house on the hill and the pavilion back behind us. 1-2.
Scott Bobcat softball with a 3-run double from Haley Howell.
Whoa.
She continues her torrid pace. 5 RBI in this game alone today.
Oh, my goodness.
And she now has 64 in her career, second in single-season numbers to Kedra Beatty. The Hall of Famer had 67 back in 2007.
That one slapped to the left side, opposite field single for Berry.
So she's still got
what a year for Berry.
Yeah, absolutely. Howell getting the job done. So she's still got second game of this doubleheader and hopefully some deep postseason play to try and catch Beatty. But that 2007 year, of course, that was, we win a couple of rounds in the NCAA regional that year.
Now, is Howell still leading all of D2 in RBI?
No, she is top 10. She had slipped down a little bit, but she is still leading the Peach Belt Conference in RBI total. So 64 now on the season for her.
Let's see how the Cougars are going to play it here with 1 out, 1 on for Drew Webb in a tie ball game. First pitch to Webb, sails inside. Webb has not had a good afternoon. 0 for 4. He did reach on an error by Garrett Green in the 5th inning, but the other 3 times he struck out swinging. The 8th pitcher of the day for the Bobcats in inning number 8 is Chris Rollick. And he'll wheel and deal the first. Berry's been successful 8 of 9 tries in stolen base attempts. Edges off of first. He's going. Pitch is taken for a ball. Throw down to second. He is going to be out of there. Gunned down by Holloway. A good jump by Berry, but Holloway just threw him out on the tag applied by Gentry.
Well, Rollick has a pretty good-sized leg kick, so it does allow for a potential for extra stolen bases off him. But Holloway was such a quick pop out of the crouch and fire of a laser beam. Nice tag, too, by Gentry as he reached around to slap that tag on the sliding runner.
So 2 down, the base is clean. And it's 3-1 on Drew Webb. That's down low for ball 4.
Is that Holloway's first runner caught stealing today, Scott?
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
believe
that
so.
means that he now has 19 runners caught stealing on the season. He came into the ball game, or 18, I'm sorry, 18, and he came into the ball game as number 2 in the conference in that category. I have to see if maybe he's increased and caught up on somebody here. Harrell from, going to be tying Harrell from Georgia Southwestern for the conference lead in runners caught stealing. So great job there, Austin Holloway.
You bet. First year as a regular, getting the job done behind the dish.
Yep, Jacob Harrell from Georgia Southwestern is the conference leader, now tied with Holloway. All right, there you go.
Robert Brooks, the catcher, stands in with a runner at first and 2 out in the 8th inning. He's going again. Holloway's throw to second is off the shortstop side of the bag and skips behind the bag. Nice job by Young to flag it down. So there's a stolen base, and they get the go-ahead run in scoring position with 2 out as Drew Webb steals his 6th base in 10 tries. He's been caught stealing almost as many times as he's been successful.
Well, Cougars not to be deterred by getting gunned down on the previous batter there.
We're still going to run on you. Pop foul back out of play off the bat of Brooks. 1-1 now the count on the catcher. He struck out a couple of times, once swinging and once looking. Was hit by a pitch and then had a sacrifice fly. So officially 0 for 2. He's got a chance to drive in the go-ahead run here in the 8th inning. Lifts it in the air to right field. Womack backs up. Now he comes in a half step. He'll squeeze it, and that will do it for the Cougars on the fly ball to right field. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left, and 1 man caught stealing. Bottom of the 8th in a 7-7 deadlock.
The Georgia College Hall of Fame.
You're on the Colonial Bobcat Broadcast Network.
Feature Hall of Fame class.
It's Young, Hudgens, and Chester due up for the Bobcats and Colonials here in the 8th inning in a tie ball game.
Yeah, Colonials got real busy in the 7th. Sent, 8 guys to the plate in that inning.
And 4 of them touched the plate.
That's half.
Very good.
Thanks.
It's that New York mathematics that you grew up with, huh?
Yep.
Cash Young in search of his first knock of the day. Couple of flies, 1 to center, 1 to left. He started off with a walk and got caught stealing in the second. As he goes up against Thomas Howell. Howell finished the job in the 7th inning after GC rallied to tie the ball game. Got a fielder's choice grounder and a strikeout. Young pops it up behind second base, and it could be trouble, and it is. A leadoff bloop to start the 8th inning. So GC gets the go-ahead run on right off the bat.
That's the funny part about this game of baseball is those 2 flyouts he hit earlier in the ball game go, about 300 feet each, and that one there was just off the fists and found some grass. So you got a single out of one, outs out of the other. Doesn't matter how hard you hit it, it matters where you hit it, I guess.
GC will get a change at the DH as Eric Furphy comes on for Hudgens. So Hudgens finishes his day 0 for 2 with a run scored and a walk.
So Furphy will check in. This is Eric Furphy, the senior, 11 hits, 8 runs scored, a .220 average, and 3 RBI on the season.
He threatened to bunt on the first pitch, yet to have a sacrifice hit for the season. 1-0 the count on Furphy. Coming off the bench here in the 8th inning. Squaring, bunting, first base side, good one. First baseman shovels it to the second baseman covering. So the sacrifice is successful. The Bobcats get the go-ahead run into scoring position.
So Furphy punches that sacrifice bunt. He got a lot of bat on it. It really came off there sharply, but thankfully found some space in between a couple of fielders to put it down.
Yeah, hit it in the right spot. Otherwise, they could get that lead runner.
Yeah, and Young didn't really hold up much. He was going, as he thought it was going to get down as well.
So Chester comes on. He singled back in the 7th inning in his first at bat, replacing Conahan, and scored on that 3-run triple by Cal Gentry. Matthew Chester awaits the first pitch, and it's a breaking pitch, a very late call, but called a strike.
Yeah, it was Chester, I think, that had the Casey Brown backpack as he was going across home plate, right?
Yeah, he was toting a little bit more than just his own body. It looked like, at least, didn't it? And he'll drive one to right field. Will it get down? Yes, it will. Rounding third and heading to the plate. Here's the throw. It's cut off. And a late throw from the first baseman. They had a chance to get Young at the plate, and Brown hesitated.
He was dead. He didn't hear the call there in his first base spot. You see a miscommunication between him and the catcher here, Brooks, as he turned and just looked at the plate. He didn't bring the throw, so he didn't hear the cut to home. He probably heard cut hold instead. As Scott, I think Young would have been out there.
Oh, yeah. They had him dead to rights by 10 feet. But he cut the throw off, and Chester comes up big with his 4th run batted in of the year. And the Bobcats have come off the deck to take the lead here at 8-7. Runners going, pitches down low. It's going to skip to the shortstop side of the bag as Brooks was throwing from his knees and didn't get a good throw down there. So a stolen base for Matthew Chester.
First career attempt right there.
How about that?
Okay,
for the freshman.
Matthew Chester.
Coming up big.
Gave you the head first slide as well. A little Charlie Hustle out there.
He's in scoring position now for Casey Brown. And he looks at one outside, and it's 2-0. Their bullpen busy, but Howell has given up the go-ahead run here in the 8th. The high set, the 2-0 pitch off the fist and foul to the top of the backstop.
Well, now the Bobcats playing with a lead for the first time in this contest. Looking forward to the 9th. It looks like it's going to be all Chris Rollick, as there is no action in Georgia College's pen here. So hoping for a similar finish to yesterday's action, where Rollick comes in and gets the win in relief.
Howell with the set and the 2-1 pitch. Outside again once, making the count 3-1, and Howell really spun away. He wasn't very pleased. He bends over at the waist, maybe didn't land quite properly after that toss.
Good patience here from Brown.
Coach Appleton's out of the dugout. with a 3-1 pitch due.
That's a slow walk right there, too. As I think he's trying to buy some time for the bullpen, but he also might be concerned a little bit about the health of his right-hander. I think you might be right. I think something finished a little strangely there.
He is not motioning that this is a medical situation, medical check, because you can tell the umpire that you're checking on the welfare of the pitcher.
And you see Brown and Brooks took a brief moment to confab on the right side of the mound. And it looks like that's going to be it here for Howell.
So Howell will depart. And the bullpen call is made again by Coach Appleton for the Cougars of Columbus State. We'll tell you about the reliever when we return. Bobcats and Colonials today have taken the lead at 8-7 on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. So a senior right-hander comes out of the bullpen for the Cougars of Columbus State. It's Sheridan Coy.
Coy making his 22nd appearance on the year. That is second on the team. A 7-1 record with a 3.86 ERA as well. 35 innings pitched, 35 hits, 18 runs, 15 of them earned, 20 walks and 36 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .265 against Coy as he comes in here, going to inherit a 3-1 count. Senior, 5'10", 175 from Stockbridge. Another transfer from A-back, so you get back-to-back A-back out of the bullpen.
Back-to-back A-back. Like it.
He's you know.
I got you.
What is that still Janowsic down there? Or?
I don't think so. I'm not sure, but yeah, Steve Janowsic used to coach down there, former Colonial. Part of the NAIA World Series days as a pitcher. 3-1 pitch coming to Brown, and it's inside. Almost got a piece of his left shoulder as he spun out of the way of that one. So a one-pitch walk. That one is charged to the previous pitcher. So first and second occupied for Georgia College. Chester at second after the RBI single and a stolen base. Brown coaxes a walk. Top of the order for Cam Hill, desperate for a hit today.
Looks like the head coach at A-back is now Brandon Reeder in his 5th year, so it's been a little whip since Janowsic's been down there.
Cam puts a charge into one, deep right field. Get out of here, ball, goodbye. Well, you go 0 for the day and then slug a 3-run shot.
First career home run for the freshman center fielder. And making that strong bid for Peach Belt Freshman of the Year.
Oh, my. Everybody out of the dugout to greet him here. Way to go, rookie. Wow. No doubt about that one getting out as Coy serves up the gopher pitch. And Cam Hill gives the Bobcats some breathing room now. It's 11-7, and Coach Appleton out of the dugout again after one pitch. He just waited on that first offering and deposited it near the parking lot down there.
That's 2 pitches for Coy.
That's right.
In that relief outing, you get the walk and then a blast to right field. How about it?
How about that? So Cam Hill comes up big. He was 0 for 4 prior to that. And the freshman delivers. And we'll check out the numbers of the newest Columbus pitcher in a minute here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Clayton Duncan comes on to pitch for the Cougars here as Georgia College has exploded in the latter stages of this one to take an 11-7 lead.
Duncan hasn't seen a ton of action, just making his third appearance. No record, no ERA. He's tossed 4 scoreless innings, allowed just 2 hits, and struck out 5 with no walks. Opponents hitting 154 against Duncan as he's been pretty solid. First lefty reliever of the day for Columbus State.
Sophomore from Columbus and Columbus High School over there. And he faces Gentry, delivers a strike.
Former science lab partner of Taylor Blackwell up here in the booth. Gotta make sure we get that out.
So now she can't be rooting for him here.
No, yeah. Gonna be we still want him to do poorly, just so you know, Taylor. Okay? Doesn't matter that he was your lab partner.
Gentry bats with 1 out. The base is clean after the blast by Cam Hill. Cal chokes up just a little bit on the bat. 0-2 offering. And he'll smack it on the ground to Ford. The shortstop gathers and throws and gets him. So Cal Gentry with a 2-for-4 day officially. He also walked. He scored 3 runs. But the Peach Belt Conference leading hitter hits 500 for the day.
That'll bump him up a little bit.
Wesley Womack now above 400 for the season after a 4-for-4 effort. And 4 make it 3 RBI. A single, a homer, a single, a single.
Oh, geez, and a laser beam into the middle of the first baseman there.
Brown almost had the leather taken off him.
West didn't even get the bat out of his hands. He took like 1 step down the first baseline, and Brown was able to catch it with a dive and grab. Nice job over there at first.
Cannot hit it much harder than that. Bobcats strike for 4 runs in the inning. The big hit, the 3-run bomb by Cam Hill. We'll go to the 9th. GC 3 outs away from getting a series against the Cougars. The Colonial Broadcast Network. Chris Rollick with a chance to pick up his 2nd win in the series. Will pitch in the 9th inning. Chase Brown, Dane Bullock. And Matthew McDade will try to prevent that from happening.
Oh, Brown with that great defensive play to finish off a rough bottom of the 8th for Columbus State. Saved extra bases on a screaming liner down the right field line. And going to be charged with trying to get the offense going here. He's got a couple hits today.
Yeah, 2 for 2 officially. Also a sac fly and a walk. And he looks at one high for ball 1. Brown with a single and a double. He has scored a run, driven in that run on the sac fly, his 17th RBI of the year. Big cut. And it's 1-1 now.
Brown and Gentry ought to be ready over on that right-hand side. Every time he's made contact, it's been yanked through the hole between those two, so they're kind of pinching together a little bit, you can see here.
1-1 pitch, misses up and away. 2-1. Bobcats are 3 outs away from getting their 15th conference win and sending Columbus below 500 in the Peach Belt. Nowhere near on the next pitch from Rollick. And it goes to 3-1. Can't get those leadoff men on with a 4-run lead in the 9th. Don't give them the extra bases, fellas. Rollick rocks and deals. That one's fouled out of play. Might have helped him out.
Yeah, it looked a little bit outside, but it might have been close enough to at least warrant the fouling the ball off there.
The redshirt freshman from Marietta and Walton High School loads up a payoff pitch just off the end of the bat as Brown hangs around for another swing.
Rollick's got that prototypical pitcher's body with the 6'6" frame, but he adds 215 on it, so he's got some strength and thickness to it. Had a great summer, the summer league that he was in. He was on the all-star team up there in the Atlanta area.
Popped up. Gentry going back, can't find it, and Young will drop it, unfortunately. Throw back to the middle of the diamond to keep him at first base. Gentry lost the ball in the high sky. Young got a glove on it, but it fell to the turf.
Yeah, it's going to be a hit there. Long way to go for Young as he came all the way from his shortstop side to shallow right center. We just had the guy play too deep, so none of the outfielders could get involved. Looks like we might have a pinch runner here for Brown over at first base. Gonna see what we get there. It's in the teens. 13? Is that what you got, Scott?
Hadn't turned this way yet.
Yeah, I think that might be 13 over there. Connor Curley.
Again,
we'll go with that until somebody corrects us.
Yeah, the uniforms only have the numbers on the back, so it's kind of difficult for us to tell.
Curley's a freshman from Cumming and West Forsyth High.
So they get the leadoff man on the bloop single.
Curley playing in his 26th ball game. He's got 4 runs scored and is 4 for 6 in stolen base attempts.
Rollick dumps a strike in to Bullock. And that's very similar here in the top of the 9th to what the bottom of the 8th started for the Bobcats. Young with that bloop single of his.
Yep, Gentry had, I think, an early beat on it and then lost it in the sun. And he had to try and give it up to Young, and Young just didn't have enough. He actually got leather on it,
right?
But it was an over-the-shoulder sliding type of grab, and that was a lot to ask Young to do there.
Dane Bullock down in a 0-2 hole now. He is 1 for 3, also was hit by a pitch. Back in the second inning, got a single to left and scored. Rollick with the set. The 0-2 ripped down the third base line, but it bounces just foul. Bobcats can breathe again.
Yeah, just a foot or two away from being extra bases rattling around in the corner there.
Columbus State got out to an early 3-0 lead. The Bobcats made it 3-2 on the home run in the third inning by Wesley Womack. The Cougars added 2 more in the 5th. The Bobcats were the run in the 6th, 4 in the 7th, and 4 more in the 8th inning. The 0-2 is up high and inside. So Curley running for Brown after the leadoff bloop single. And like the Bobcats last half inning, these Cougars need some base runners. Down by 4. Rollick with a set at the belt. Reaches out, pops it up. It's going to get out of play, I believe, or right down. Yeah, it hit off the light pole by the Cougar bench.
Good battle here from Bullock as he was down 0-2 and has battled for 3 more pitches here, spoiling some good offers from Rollick.
Rollick gets a sign from Holloway and goes 1-2 once again. Low between the legs, and that'll get Curley to second base on the wild pitch.
Yep, went 5-hole on Holloway. Couldn't quite get the glove down quickly enough and scooted between the legs.
So the Cougars have a runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the 9th. Bullock determined to get it in. We'll be awaiting a 2-2. Rollick taking lots of time. Bullock spoils another pitch.
Might have been a little bit outside, but gets just enough of it to stay alive. Count will remain 2-2. Of course, that run on second and this runner at the plate don't mean very much. He'll trade, advancing these runners for outs at this point.
GC's got 2 righties going in the bullpen.
They got Ashton Sturgill out there as well as Harrison Veldsma.
Bobcats with 8 pitchers on the day.
Rollick in line for the decision here if he can close it out.
2-2 comebacker through the box and into center field. That'll score a run and make it 11-8 as Bullock comes up with the RBI single up the middle.
Just a simple little chopper there up the middle. Rollick tried to wave his leather at it to try and get a piece of it and slow it down, but it just continued to bound right up the middle.
That'll
for the RBI single. Sorry, Scott.
Sorry, Al. That'll put Bullock up to 30 runs batted in for the year. And here's McDade for his second at bat. He walked against Hester, who had a 1-batter appearance. First pitch to McDade, bounces in the left-hand batter's box. Nice stop to his right by Holloway. That one skidded off the dirt, wound up off the chest protector. And Austin took a couple extra seconds to gather himself. Again, Rollick pitching last night and going back to work today.
Yep, had the full inning yesterday, right?
In the 9th. Line drive, right field, base hit. Opposite field single for McDade as the Cougars kicking up their heels in the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's going to bring the game's tying run to the plate now, right?
Yep, you got Ford coming up. He'll represent the tying run, and he may not see Chris Rollick as Kane Keith was headed out of the dugout, turned and took a step backwards, and now he's back out there, and we'll get a right-hander going from the bullpen. So Rollick can't finish it here in the 9th inning. And GC goes to the pen again. Our 8th reliever, 9th pitcher of the day. We're using some arms up here to try and claim the series against the Cougars. So Rollick's day is over. Colonials go to the pen on this 50th anniversary day. Back to tell you who's going to face Kendall Ford in a minute on the Colonial Bobcat Broadcast Network. GC will send Harrison Veldsma to the mound as Harry gets the baseball, trying to shut down the Cougars as these two longtime rivals going back and forth here late in this contest.
Veldsma making his 12th appearance, an 0-1 record, 10.80 ERA, 20 innings pitched for him, 36 hits, 26 runs, 24 of them earned. 10 walks, 21 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .371 against Veldsma this season. And Harrison was in the weekend rotation plans at the beginning of this year. Couldn't hold on to the spot and hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities as of late. So chance here, if he can come up and get these final 3 outs in a big spot, maybe that'll buy him some more innings down the stretch. But last year, I think he got a couple of starts in the postseason and stuff like that.
Yep.
So he was a bit more active last year than he has been this season.
He faces Kendall Ford with runners at first and second. Ford represents the tying run here in the top of the 9th inning. Nobody out for Columbus State.
Bobcats still have Logan Hicks warming up in the pen if things don't work out for Veldsma.
Fastball over just at the top of the knees for a strike.
Veldsma, another one of these members that would make for a pretty good basketball team, as he's 6'5", 225. You add him and Rollick at 6'6". How about Logan Hicks at 6'5"? That's a good front line, right?
It is. Gano ought to be looking at him. Timeout called by Ford. He's got a 2-for-3 day working at the plate. Also hit by a pitch. He has scored a run and driven in his 16th run of the year. Veldsma with a set, the 0-1. Fouled out of play to the right side. That'll make the netting of the softball diamond, and it's 0-2. Strikeout would be big here for the Bobcats.
Ford having trouble with the first couple of fastballs here. Looked at one and then was very late on that last pitch. So now Veldsma with a lot of options. Do you go break and pitch here or maybe another fastball? See if you can catch up with your gas.
Holloway with a series of signs with that runner at second base. Veldsma comes to the belt. Fastball bounces up there. Again, Holloway knocks it out in front of the plate. Man, you don't want to put more runners in scoring position.
Yeah, that was a big stop there from Holloway, as it looked like Veldsma was going with the fastball, just probably tried to dial up a little bit too much miles per hour on it and pounded it into the dirt out in front of the plate.
Kendall Ford awaiting a 1-2 offering. In the dirt again. And time requested. New ball to work with, requested by Veldsma. It's all the ball's fault. As that one is retired for the time being.
Yeah, I imagine that one got a pretty good scuff on it.
Yeah.
Again, I think another fastball as that was coming in with some cheese on it and just pounded it into the left-hand batter's box that time.
Senior shortstop Kendall Ford out of Decatur and Georgia State. A 2-2 pitch coming to him with 2 on and nobody out. And he waves at it and misses the strike 3. Wow, that thing dropped below the knees, and Ford offered at it. A huge punch out there for Veldsma and the Cats.
Yeah, I think a good confidence boost there as Veldsma picks up the strikeout. He is a strikeout guy with 21 of them in his 20 innings pitched, so he has missed some bats.
Now batting, number 8, Drake Kirkwood.
He'll try to make Drake Kirkwood miss some pitches here. Kirkwood 1 for 4. Base hit back in the 6th inning. Pitch low and away. Holloway flags it down behind the left-hand batter's box. Well, how about a ground ball? We all go home.
That sounds good to me. Any double plays turned here by Veldsma on the mound? Let's see what I can find for you. Yeah, it would be his first of the year.
There's always a first time for everything,
yes,
right?
Indeed. That's why they call it the first, right?
1-0 pitch. Chased an inside fastball. Fouled it off. Just got a piece of the handle on it. Veldsma challenging inside on the right-handed hitting third baseman.
Veldsma at 9.45 strikeouts per game. If you average out what he's got. There's a bunch of GC pitchers with double-digit numbers, so he's on the top part of the staff, but not at the top.
Veldsma stepped off, and now he's back on the rubber. 1-1 pitch. Kirkwood bounds it to shortstop. Over to second for 1, to first, not in time. Almost got it, just a little bit of a tough get it out of the glove for Cassius Young, and it wasn't really hit all that hard either.
Yeah, a little bit slow developing on the bounding ball headed toward Young instead of a sharp grounder. So it didn't really start up very well. But get that lead runner again at this point. The tying run is still not quite on the base path, so you're more than happy to trade that out for runners advancing.
Now the Bobcats, grateful to get the out. Now they're 2 down for Garrett Kirkwood. He struck out in the 8th inning, first time that they'd gotten him out after a sacrifice bunt, which brought in a run in the 6th inning. Started off his day with a double to drive in his 18th run, singled and scored a run in the 5th inning, and then came that sac bunt and a strikeout.
Columbus having a tough job here squaring up Veldsma. Is a lot of just barely tipped foul balls and things like that on the swings.
Sneaky fast coming up there, apparently.
Yeah, just having trouble with the location or something. I don't know. Let's hope it continues.
Veldsma ahead 0-1. Swing and a miss.
Wow,
might have
breaking
changed.
pitch there.
Yeah, changed the speeds on him drastically. Kirkwood well out in front, and now 1 pitch away are the Bobcats. Colonials today to wrap up the series.
Yeah, I think that thing just fell right off the table on him. And Veldsma now with a lot of options on an 0-2 count here.
You can go with the heat. You can go with something a little away, and hopefully that Kirkwood will fish for it.
Yep, Kirkwood the potential last out.
Ground ball toward shortstop, comes up for Young. He'll flip to second, got him, and that's the ball game. Barely at second base on a backward flip. Young to Gentry to end it, and the Bobcats come from behind for the 2nd day in a row and get the win here this afternoon to take the series 2-0. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow afternoon. Cougars made it interesting with a run in the 9th inning on 3 straight hits. They finished the day out hitting the Bobcats at 13-11. GC had 2 errors. Cougars had 1 error. But Georgia College comes away with the win. Chris Roddick gets the victory, his second of the series.
Yep, on the year now, Rowlett going to be 4-1 overall. Loss will go to the reliever Thomas Howell. It's his first defeat of the season as he falls to 2-1. Going to give a save for Harrison Veldsma.
Hey,
that's
right.
his first of the season. It might be the first of the career for the big right-hander. So good ball game there for GC. What do we think for a Zaxby's player of the game? Got to be one of those hitters, maybe Womack?
I would think Womack. Yeah, he went 4 for 5 on the day and had that bullet and drove in 3 runs. So.
Yep, had the big fly, the 2-run home run to left field. So let's give the Zaxby's player of the game to Wesley Womack, Georgia College right fielder, thanks to our friends at Zaxby's on North Columbia Street.
So Georgia College improves to 25-18 and more importantly 15-12 in the Peach Belt Conference. They've won their 3rd straight and win one as the Colonials today. The Cougars fall to 27-17 as they drop their 3rd straight game. They are under 500 in the belt now at 12-13. And they've got one more conference series remaining after tomorrow. They are suddenly on the verge of maybe not making the playoffs. The top 8 teams in the conference move on to Flagler starting on May 7th. So Georgia College comes away with a win. As we celebrated the 50th anniversary of Georgia College baseball, the Colonials come up with an 11-7 victory over arch rival Columbus State. Game 3 of the set, 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Now we'll have the broadcast for you right here. For Jason Thornton, for everybody involved with the broadcast, I'm Scott McLeod. Thanks to Al Weston as always.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Don't forget Georgia College Annual Athletic Auction tonight. Doors open at 7 p.m. Can buy tickets at the door. Biggest fundraiser of the year for GC Athletics with the fund model of collegiate athletics at a state institution in Georgia where we're fee-based, right? You know, so that's off of the student body. And Georgia College is capped on their enrollment. So that means we don't get any more fees coming in, and every year, as you know, those costs keep going up. So we really need your support and things like this. So we hope to see you tonight. I know a lot of the baseball parents, particularly with it being senior weekend, are excited about getting the opportunity to attend their first one. Typically, they got ball games on the road. You know, They can't go to this thing. So we lots of tickets being sold, but a big $10,000 reverse raffle as well. It's going to be a fun evening. Come on over to Centennial Center. Doors open at 7 p.m.
So that'll do it for our broadcast today. The Colonials come away with a win over the Cougars as they rally and take it in a great 7th and 8th innings. Georgia College scoring 4 runs in each of the 7th and the 8th frames to overcome the lead by Columbus State. Go for the sweep tomorrow, 1 o'clock first pitch right here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.